should probably turn off LCS. There we go.
Now, see, we can listen to the better casters and use that to model our own performances.
I mean, right now it's just an interview with Sven. And I don't think Sven is a better caster than us.
He might be. I mean, he'd probably analyze better than I could, right? So he has pretty big brain.
Accent makes him hard to understand, though.
See, I don't even think Sven Skaren is that hard to understand.
No, that's probably fair. Who's this? Snick. Okay. Although the other casters are using a different font, and I don't know what they're using. And that feels kind of weird just to drop in, like, yo, what font you guys like? Because I've just got the old one with, it's called Black Ops 1. It looks like the stencils.
Okay.
I like that font, but it's objectively not the same one that the other casters are.
Wow.
So my shoddy recreation at what they, yeah.
The lack of continuity is really, that's gonna ruin us right there. That's how we know that LCS is,
I mean, they don't have continuity between, like, EU and ALCS, so we can just pretend like that's what I'm doing.
Is that the same?
It's just for the, yeah, the diamonds get a different...
Is that like casting remotely versus casting at Jack's house?
Jack's house, yeah.
Are we doing marbles? Oh, never mind.
Not right now.
We aren't doing marbles.
We don't have time right now. We could maybe do marbles after, but I doubt anybody will stick around after the cast. So.
I mean, yeah, everyone's here to watch us cast, so once the cast is over, I mean,
honestly, it just seems like nobody's around to begin with, but, you know.
I think we need to throw more ats at people.
We need diamond players to be interested in watching themselves.
Yeah.
It seems to be an issue.
You would think with the egos in Diamond Cap that people would be a lot more interested in watching their games.
You can always, there's a handful of people who always seem to show up or try to, and like I know the K-State guys like watching, but they all work like really weird fucking hours, freaking hours. I'm on the mainstream now.
Fucking hours. Yeah, shout out to Silverhammer, who's always there. My boy Silverhammer. But he doesn't even play in Diamond Cap, so he does it for the love of the league. He's not even here right now. That's fucked up. I called him out and everything.
Anyway, here's an intro video. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 5 of Diamond Capped. My name is Maristamatic. With me is my usual partner in crime, Makedo.
Hi, I'm Makedo. Here ready to cast some Diamond games.
Yeah, we only have 3 games today because 2 of them are being played over break, I guess. So, but they all should be highly entertaining. Like, I'm looking forward to most of these. By most of them, I mean actually all of them. Yeah, our first game is going to be Landsneck, who come in at 2-2, and they'll be taking on the UCO Broncos, who are coming in at 0-4, but they seem to be throwing rosters at the wall and trying to see if something sticks and if it's successful for them.
Yeah, especially last week, the UCO Broncos really had some good games, some good matchups where they had a bit of a lead and had some shot at closing out games, but weren't able to do so. So we'll have to see if UCO Broncos are able to get another lead and perhaps pull one out for once.
Yeah, and for Landsneck, this is week 2 of their new roster with Yeetloaf in mid lane and Killering at support. So we'll see if everything's coming together maybe a little bit better for them. If they can continue growing, they had an 2-0 start and have since slid down to 2-2. So they're really looking to bounce back and get back into that playoff hunt.
For sure. We'll definitely want to see. Last week they were looking um, a lot like they weren't all on the same page. A little lack of coordination. So we'll see if maybe an extra week of experience playing together will have fixed that problem for them.
Yeah, so without any further ado, let's jump into game if you're all loaded up, Mr. Akedo.
I am.
Okay, perfect. I'll count us down in 3, 2, 1, and we'll start. On the blue side of the rift this game, wearing the blue health bars this game, will be the UCO Broncos. In the top lane, Wise Old Beard playing Vladimir. In the jungle, Challenger Shue will be on Lee Sin. Wayside making his return to mid lane playing Echo. And then Brett and Billy is straight in the bottom lane playing Ashe and Thresh.
And on the red side, we have Lansnack with Jack Loves Lamp on his illustrious Darius pick, PB Doughboy on the Sejuani pick in the jungle, King Yeetloaf on the Xerath in the mid lane, and then Rito Torchic and Killering on the bot lane, Caitlyn Sona, as we see an early level 1 invade.
Yeah, this is like the classic solo queue invade. You just go through mid lane into that side bush, dip in, and try to catch somebody in the banana bush there. They almost catch PP Doughboy, hit him with a volley, not quite with the sonic wave, so nothing too threatening for Mr. Doughboy there.
Yeah, report Yeetloaf for not running down mid lane quick enough to see them enter that bush, but nothing lost. And surprisingly enough, Sneck didn't take that time to go in and ward the blue side of the Broncos for free. Perhaps saving their wards for a little bit later instead.
Yeah, I am kind of interested. They tried to drop a ward over the Dragon Pit into Tribush. Looks like they weren't quite successful with that one, but they had the attempt to get vision there. I am more interested in how picks and bans went down for this game. I don't know a huge amount about Broncos. A lot of them are relative newcomers to the league. They might not have been in. They're not in the same positions they even were in last week, so it might have been difficult to prepare on that side. But for Lansnack, it feels like they got ultra comfort, basically, with Jack Loves Lamp on the Darius, Yeetloaf on his Xerath, almost one trick in mid, Torchic on Caitlyn. All seem like really strong priority picks for Lansnack.
Yeah, Yeetloaf plays about 2 champions in the mid lane, and Xerath is one of them, so interesting to see how they ended up pulling that off. That said, maybe the Broncos wanted to bait out something like the Darius. Vladimir is a pick that potentially can do pretty well early game, up until Darius gets a phage, pretty much. And then Echo can dive forward onto the Xerath and have a little bit of pressure. It'll be really interesting to watch that matchup and see which way it ends up going.
Yeah, I'm also kind of curious. Jack chose to go for the Conqueror this game rather than Phase Rush, which I think is going to hinder him a little bit in terms of trying to get onto the Vladimir.
Especially with how mobile, Vladimir is, Lee Sin is, Xerath is. So we see the first gank.
Yeah, jeez,
wow.
That was a ton of damage coming out from Wayside and Challenger Shue. I thought he might be able just to walk out of it, but not the case. All of his health goes. I'm just stuttering at this point. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. The double electrocute proc's doing really well to do a ton of damage, and it looks like Yeetloaf wasn't expecting it either. He's still holding on to both his summoners. Just wasn't expecting to die there. And that's a ton of damage, and great for the Echo early, picking up that first blood. He'll probably recall here and pick up like a corrupting potion, which helps him just apply so much pressure within that lane.
Yeah, already 2 stacks on the Dark Seal as well, so off to fairly comfortable start and a little bit extra AP. Billy straight goes in for the flay. His Lee Sin's here. Hook lands onto Killering, and the Sona flashes in to his death, trying to save Torchic, I guess, but now red buff being applied to Torchic as he's trying to kite out Challenger Shue. None of the traps able to connect for him. He gets played back in the Ignite. Challenger Shue takes the kill, and it's a 3-0 lead for UCO early.
Wow, and Challenger Shue just smurfing on this Lee Sin pick. He's already gotten 3 kills for his team. Killering on the Sona, flashing in an interesting direction, trying to save Torchic. But Torchic stepped up anyway, as we see Doughboy going for a response gank in the top lane.
Yeah, Wise Old Beard gonna get stunned up. He's already flashed the follow flash from Doughboy now, and
Oh,
that wasn't
the
quite enough
heal?
damage. The heal actually bought him a little bit of extra time, and it forces Jackalove's Lamp to use his flash as well. They do pick up the kill, but both flashes invested into that gank.
That said, it's actually huge for Darius to be able to get a lead early in this matchup. Even without the phase rush, if he's able to get to his phage power spike early, the move speed from that item really lets him stick onto the Vladimir and trade into him well. That said, that wave isn't going to crash, and Vladimir doesn't have teleport, but doesn't end up losing much, um, since that wave freezes right outside of turret range.
Yeah, that's also an interesting point. The Vladimir without teleport means that he's not going to be that split push threat, and Vladimir split push is basically you just shove waves in. You're not like great at taking towers, but you are really, really good at shoving waves. And instead, you have that teleport on Echo. Are we going to look maybe later on in the game to see Echo isolated against Darius then, and Vladimir maybe grouped up in like a 1-4?
I mean, we'll almost certainly see Echo in a side lane with that teleport. Echo can apply so much pressure in side lanes, especially since he builds that Lich Bane and just does a ton of damage to turrets. That said, I'm not sure if the Darius matchup is the matchup that you really want for him. Is Shuei's visiting top lane now.
Yeah, Shuei's visiting again, gets the slow onto him. Resonating Strike will connect, and he'll take the kill. The Ignite, not quite enough for Wise Old Beard to secure it on the Vlad, but 2-0-2 now for Challenger Shuei. Has the Tiamat completed. He's a pretty strong boy.
Yeah, and he's gotten a kill in every single lane. That's massive. Just so much pressure from this Lee Sin pick, and that's exactly what you want when you draft something like the Lee Sin. Getting every single lane ahead, and hopefully his lanes will be able to maintain that lead. Now almost 2,000 gold for the Broncos.
Yeah, Jack does expend that teleport in order to get back to top lane and catch the wave. He's got a Spectre's Cowl first rather than the Phage. What do you think of that pickup?
It's definitely the safer option, I suppose. Less aggressive, more about just farming out this lane. That said, I'm not sure that he's gonna be able to have enough damage to ever really fight Vladimir at this point. And you're kind of giving Vladimir a free lane, which isn't what you want to do. Vladimir scales so well into the mid and late game that I don't know. I think I would prefer the Phage.
Meanwhile, more trading here in bottom lane. Torchic, off of his first, forced back to base off of the death, picked up a cull compared to the Vamp Scepter for Brett. So just a little lead, not super significant right now for the AD carry of the Broncos.
Yeah, no, the big difference in this bottom lane is just the difference in summoners. As Torchic actually had Flash when he died bottom lane, is that right? It has to be. It wouldn't be up.
Yeah,
That's
it'd be
really
coming up.
interesting.
It'd be a couple seconds after Killerings, so.
Yeah, definitely interesting. But no, when we were talking about before the game, this matchup, the Broncos have shown an ability to get early leads, and so much of their win conditions is building up an early lead against some teams that might generally be stronger than them. So at this point, we really want to see them transition that lead around the map and continue to snowball it and be able to, close out a game.
Yeah. Now Yeetloaf with the level 7 has the right of the Arcane available. He can look to maybe make some roaming plays, although you don't want to get caught, in the middle of the map by the Echo. In the meantime, though, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow connects. He'll come in and kick back Torchic. It's 2 kills already in the bot lane. PB Doughboy is here to try to counter gank. Gets a little bit of damage down onto Shuei. The Resonating Strike will connect, and that's a double kill for Challenger Shuei and 3 kills overall for the UCO Broncos.
And what a great gank. You can tell that both junglers knew exactly where they needed to be. Both of them were waiting in the wings, and the Broncos just had the first shot, the first CC onto Killer Ring, and were able to burst him out before he could press any of his buttons.
Yeah,
And at that point,
the biggest difference there, Brett and Billy Estrade both had their ultimates available. Torchic and Killering still only level 5.
For sure, it's actually just a massive difference there. And what was just the difference between a Cull and a Vamp Scepter is likely to be much more significant of a lead now in that bottom lane once Ashe gets to recall. It
They're
looks like they're going onto the Infernal here.
Yeah, this
They're
is a
pretty
pretty
low.
aggressive play. They're relatively low. PP Doughboy has the ultimate available. He's running straight into Shuei, who's already low, gets the ultimate out. He'll take the dragon with the W, and Challenger Shuei goes down. How many more will fall? The Ready the Arcane over the top. Lands 2, lands 3. Already 2 kills go the way of Landsneck. Chrono Break from Wayside trying to get some distance away from Torchic. If he's got the E over the wall, does he die? He does die to the ace in the hole. And now Brett in trouble as PB Doughboy chasing him down, and he'll eventually finish that one off. So the collapse from Landsneck nets them an Infernal Dragon and 4 kills.
And what a disaster for the Broncos after an amazing early game where they got such a massive lead. They greed just a little bit, don't spend the gold that they just got, try to get an Infernal, and everyone dies for it. They give up a massive shutdown from that Lee Sin, as well as just a back timing, and they don't even get the dragon for it. Shuei having to smite the dragon just to stay alive, leaving it at about 38 HP. That's just so bad. That's so far from what they wanted.
Yeah, the second swing of the Sejuani W, able to pick up the dragon away from Shuei after the smite. And this game is completely turned on its head just based on that. The gold lead, still modest. It's about 1,000 for the Broncos, but they need to try to get some of that momentum back now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with a team comp that has to get ahead with the Lee Sin, with the Echo, getting ahead and then giving it all back just isn't what you're looking for. Yeah, no, and we see those items in the bottom lane as Caitlyn just recalled. Both Zerka Greaves and in terms of effective gold, relatively close. Cutlass and BF Sword being pretty much the same, and then the Cull versus 2 daggers. And for how far ahead you were, that's just not where you want to be at this point.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how the Broncos team really transitions into mid-game. You have the pick potential thanks to Enchanted Crystal Arrow basically throughout. That's the big strength of bringing Ashe as a champion. But when you start grouping up 5v5, it's much more difficult to envision a team fight that UCO wins.
Yeah, a lot of it would have to be just, you know, the Echo really popping off and, you know, popping someone. Whereas the Snek just has the much more consistent team fighting composition. They have the Sejuani, they have Xerath and Caitlyn with the artillery damage, and definitely more consistent, which is why the Broncos have to pick up that lead early. Is Lee Sin going for the first unsuccessful gank so far?
Yeah, Enchanted Crystal Arrow just like singed the back of the cape of Sona there, but not able to connect, and as a result puts that ultimate on cooldown, wastes a little bit of time for Challenger Shuei, but at this point, you know, 1 for 8 on misses is still looking okay for him.
For sure, for sure. As you see Sejuani hanging out around the Herald, might look for it.
Yeah, she does dodge over the wall. There's some pink wards nearby that might spot her if she drags it out a little bit too far from the pit. Wayside's come down. The flash hook from Billy is straight. Lands on Dorito Torchic. That's a good crescendo, though, to try to disengage. The running as the Protobelt to follow steps on a trap, but now Yeetloaf has joined the fray as well. Exhaust down onto Brett as they're kiting him along the side. Killering will fall as Jacklove Lamps joins the battle. Yeetloaf picks up 1. He'll pick up 2. Doesn't have any more shots from Right of the Arcane, and Wayside should be able to make it out. Arcanopulse, you know, maybe making me a liar. Oh, the ace in the hole! The Arcanopulse plus the Comet gave him the vision so that he could lane up the ace in the hole, and Torchic will pick up the extra kill.
And that's huge there. The Broncos going for such an aggressive play, trying to snowball their lead, and unfortunately for them, their top laner didn't bring teleport. So Jacklove's Lamp on the Darius is able to re-engage and help make that a positive gain for them as Sejuani blows the ult onto Ashe and doesn't get too much for it.
Yeah, Sejuani just putting this down in full vision. They're going to drop it mid, and Shelly should be able to crash into this tower. We still have turret plating up, so this is a pretty big chunk of gold going immediately into the pockets of Landsneck. Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes through. It lands onto Xerath in the backline, but that wasn't really the target. Billy is straight's in trouble as he gets dunked by Jack Love's Lamp. And actually, Ashe got sniped as well.
Yeah, Ashe was sitting with almost 0 HP on the backside of that, and King Eatloaf was able to just pick him off, and, you know, just a failure from the Broncos to...
Oh, mid laners versus 80 carries, part 2.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, the Echo's able to take that one down. Torchic perhaps overstaying just a little bit, but this whole time, Wise Old Beard on the Vladimir has been splitting top, and Still hasn't even killed that turret yet. I've been alone up there for over a minute and a half.
Yeah, he might be able to get it once that turret plate falls, or once the overall turret plating falls here at 14. But you can see he was doing like 23 damage in auto attack on that last plate. The armor starts to stack up just a little bit, even if you're by yourself.
Yeah, and I think the highlight of that play is just Jack Love's Lamp with a great teleport down there to help out his team, as the Vladimir's just chilling up there with his Ignite, and unfortunately he can't ignite turrets.
Yeah, the turret's actually going to live as Jack Love's Lamp able to rejoin his minion friends up there and help push it out. So he got all the turret plates, which is a really big chunk of gold into his pocket. You can see the CS lead as well. So let's just check really quick. Yeah, Vladimir's up about 500 gold on the Darius, but
That's Darius did make the the Black Cleaver power spike, has that Phage move speed, has the Spectre's Cowl for defenses, and I'm not sure how much success this Vladimir's going to have in his side lane against the Darius now, after he's able to pick up those kills and assists in the bottom lane.
yeah, gold lead right now, only about 500, still in favor of the Broncos, but you feel like their clock's ticking, whereas Lanceneck's still powering up, especially with the Caitlyn and Xerath combo. We're looking 2-3 items for both of them, and at that point you have just such a devastating siege comp build.
Yeah.
Tailoring getting aggressed on. The Enchanted Crystal comes out, but it's going to hit Doughboy. Challenger Shui just kicks him into the wall and then forced to retreat. They don't get any kills yet. And now King Yeetlo from the side. Arcanopulse doing a lot of damage. Right of the Arcane over the top. 1 hits, 2 misses, 3 hits, and Doughboy picks up the kill. 4 goes a little bit astray as well as Brett takes the Blast Cone back out to safety. And that should be the Earth Dragon going over to Lanceneck as well.
Yeah, and there's the Broncos going with the aggressive play again. Unfortunately, they're just don't have quite enough damage to pick up any kills on the backside. That is, Wise Old Beard's actually diving Jack Love's Lamp.
Yeah, actually able to bring the Ignite to bear there, and the pool comes up just in time so that he can dive under and stay alive with the extra healing, and that's a nice solo kill for Wise Old Beard.
Yeah, and I take it all back. I guess that Vladimir will be successful in that side lane, even though Darius hit the power spikes, and well played by him.
Yeah, Wayside and Challenger Shui going in. This is a little awkward. He brought his friend in with him and then left him on the Caitlyn trap as Torchic gets him down.
But, it's definitely good for the Broncos to see Vladimir succeeding in that side lane. And at this point, that's definitely something that they have to rely on and has to continue, is that domination of the side lane, just because the rest of the map isn't ahead.
Yeah, poor Torchic is still 2 CS away from finishing off his cull.
Yeah, having to recall there feels pretty bad, but still finishing up that Infinity Edge, has a Zeal, and is well on her way to hitting those power spikes.
Little opportunity to push here for UCO. They should get some damage in mid lane, but ultimately game state is kind of strange, honestly. You have the Darius headed to bottom lane with Dragon down. The bot lane headed to top, maybe to try to siege down that tower, but you've got low turret health bars right now in the bottom lane.
Definitely interesting. Generally, you see the bot lane swapping to top either when Rift Herald is the only available objective, or once you've already gotten that bottom lane turret taken down. But rotating a bit early, maybe Sneck's trying to pick up a turret in transition here for free. That's it. I definitely want to see the Broncos go with a 1-3-1 with Echo and Vladimir in solo lanes, but looks like they're just going back to relatively standard lanes.
Yeah, they've set the Vladimir back to mid lane, sending the Echo up top. Oh, the hook lands onto Jack Love's Lamp, and Darius is a dangerous customer in a 1v2. Now PB Doughboy's here, getting on to Brett. Should get the stun on him. Enchanted Crystal sails just a little bit wide, and they'll still continue the chase down onto PB Doughboy. Ultimate comes out from Sejuani. They're looking to finish this one off. Brett goes down, and he has the ultimate stacked up now. Gets the heal back. He dunks down. Brett is straight as well. Or Billy is straight, excuse me. Not Brett. Brett's the other one. Wiseold Beard is here, trying to collapse down the Proto Belt in onto Jackalove's Lamp. Doesn't have the hemorrhage stacks available, and the Echo ults out.
Oh
Wiseold
my!
Beard going a little bit deeper. He'll take the kill onto the Darius. Probably get traded back, although fancy footwork. Sidesteps the Arcano Pulse.
Oh
Can't
wow!
sidestep the slow. Challenger Shui just kicks the one minion that's there. Now Crescendo lands onto Shui. No stun follow-up from Yeetloaf as Wayside collapsing. Gets the parallel convergence down, and Shui picks up the kill. And what a mess in bottom lane.
Yeah, there's no time to talk about it. As everyone just continues to go in one at a time and fight each other.
Oh, they know Shui's in
Like
the
that's
side bush.
blind.
Ace in the hole picks him up. Yeetloaf. That's why he's the Xerath one trick. The god knows that he's sitting in that side bush because they have the pink ward back and try. Hoped he didn't run toward the... And didn't see him with Caitlyn either. So you kind of eliminate where he is
No, they
based on
don't
where
even.
he isn't.
They don't even have a pink ward and try. How did he know?
Oh, that's the enemy pink ward. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's scripting. Eatloaf is too good at Xerath, man. How did he just ult that blindly? That's insane. That's actually insane. And at the end of the day, the gold lead is dead even between the Broncos and the Snek after all the kills bottom lane, after all the fighting. And even dead even, you have to think that benefits the scaling from Snek though.
Yeah, I think an even gold total at 20 minutes definitely favors Landsnack in this matchup. We'll see if we can get some more plays, although they're just going to initiate straight onto the AD carry. He gets destroyed as Yeetloaf goes godlike 4-1 and 7. They're chasing down Wiseold Beard as well. Oh,
yeah, and Echo goes back in.
Goes back in onto the Rito Torchic. He's taken super low. A couple more auto attacks, but the heal from Sona will keep him alive. PB Doughboy getting chased down, able to dodge out away from the Lee Sin Q, and Eatloaf is unstoppable now. Picks up his 5th kill. He hits right at the Arcane, although I don't actually know what he's shooting at. I guess Thresh is over there somewhere.
That was almost a massive play from Wayside on the Echo. His ult back takes like 60% of Caitlyn's health. He's almost able to bring him down, but unfortunately not quite enough damage as Snek starts up the Baron.
Yeah, I'd say this is a risky call. They don't do it super fast, but we don't see UCO responding like immediately quickly. You have Ashe and Thresh wandering in, but Yeetloaf just playing a little bit of defense here, zoning him off. It's down to 2,000. No one's collapsing for UCO. That'll be the Baron going the way of Landsnack. The Crystal Arrow just kind of hits Yeetloaf, makes him feel a little bit bad about his decisions, but nothing permanent.
Yeah. And maybe if Vladimir has teleport, he'd be able to push him off of it, but
Billy is
unfortunately for the
straight,
Broncos...
almost goes down. Wiseold Beard takes the lantern out to safety. Oh, Wayside wanted a little bit more there. This might be the Infernal Dragon for UCO on the back of it, which isn't the worst pickup in the world, but it'd still probably take Baron for Infernal Dragon.
For sure, but your first Infernal is worth those extra stats. It's definitely helpful. So they pick that up. Yeetloaf pressuring just a little bit with the ult and actually doing so much damage. Ashe is at 40%.
Wayside looking for that engage, but he doesn't have the team with him. He's been really aggressive on this Echo pick, which is super fun to see, but you know, the decision making might be a little hit or miss in that situation.
I mean, honestly, just so many of these plays of his have been so close to being amazing, you know, like 1 or 2 HP off of just killing everybody, and unfortunately for him, it's just not swinging his way. Maybe one of these fights will, you know, swing the other way, and maybe he'll get just a little bit lucky.
I do want to talk about the item difference right now. The 280 carries. Rito Torchic has his 3rd item completed. He's got the Shiv and the Rapid Fire Cannon with his Infinity Edge, and Brett's sitting on just 2 with the Blade of the Rune King and the Runeon's Hurricane.
Yeah, Rito Torchic on this Caitlyn is just massive at this point.
Oh, Wayside, nope, doesn't want that one. Just takes a chunk out of Yeetloaf.
Yeah, he kind of missed the Q there. Not what he was hoping for, but he's able to get away for relative free, just eating a Caitlyn crit for his trouble.
Yeah, that was the bot lane turret that went down, I believe, for Landsnack, so continuing the push in. They're just grouped up as 5 here in mid lane, which I guess is fine. Well, they're not, actually, because Jack is walking back from base now.
He's bringing the minions up with the Baron. So they are letting their top lane crash in, and might prefer to see them in like a 1-4 with Darius in a side lane applying extra pressure.
Oh,
But
right of the arcane. He dodges out two, gets hit by the
oh
third and
my
the ace in
god.
the hole. And Torchic on a rampage. He's actually picked up most of the kills with ace in the hole, weirdly enough. And Chanticleer comes through it, lands onto Sona in the backline,
Oh
but he
my
immediately gets initiated on and pays for it. Wise Old Beard gets into the backline, doing some damage to Torchic, but the shields and heals trying to keep him alive, but Wise Old Beard will finish that one off. But now he's in no man's land as Jack pulls him back in. And see you later, gets dunked. The Noxian guillotine too much. The kick back from Challenger Shui just trying to disengage. And it's a 1-for-3 in favor
Wise
of
Old Beard
Lansec.
trying so hard to break this siege composition from Snake, but Snake has too much poke. Xerath and Caitlyn putting out so much damage.
Well, and it's difficult when your sustained damage from the 80 carries just immediately eliminated at the start of the fight. This is a little deep for PB Doughboy. Although the apprehend from Jack Love's Lamp, Challenger Shui will go down, and now Wayside might be in trouble as well, but gets a little movement speed from his passive. The Z-Drive Resonance proc, if you will, and he runs away.
Going deep for that one, huh?
You gotta flex on the ability names when you know them, you know?
I respect that. I respect that. So, yeah, Xerath just putting out so much damage within these fights. I imagine if we looked at a damage chart, he's far and away the highest. That said, Vladimir has hit his 3-item power spike. He has his Zhonya's. He has the Rabadons. And he has the potential to 1v3 this backline. You know, as we saw in the last fight, he was able to go 1v3 and still kill Torchic on an extremely fed Caitlyn. Caitlyn, though, opting in for the Hex Drinker to try and prevent that. Probably a goodbye there.
Yeah, Brett and Wiseholdbeard take a chunk out of the mid lane tower, but that's all they're going to be able to get off of the back of the play. And yeah, I think the Hex Drinkers are really valuable pickup, especially if Wiseholdbeard's going to get, you know, super aggro in these fights like he showed in the last one.
Yeah, and that's almost what they have to do if they are going to team fight, is have Wiseholdbeard on that Vladimir, you know, create space and, you know, try to 1v3 that backline. You know, maybe if he can dive in with Wayside on that Echo, they'll have enough damage to kill everybody, but
yeah, both
definitely
teams,
be interesting.
Both teams seem to kind of lack an objective right now. I think you want the free gold top if you're Landsnack. That should be objective 1, which they're doing all right at. But they kind of send everybody toward the Baron. It's not going to spawn for another minute. You have Dragon spawning in about another minute as well. So a little bit of wandering from the team that's in the lead, and it's going to allow UCO to potentially get this mid lane tower in exchange.
Mid lane turret and Echo's already on that tier 2. He's actually TPing in to try and defend. He's 1v5 there, though.
Yeah, that didn't work out particularly well for him, as Killering takes the kill.
Yeah, no, that was not the best TP I've seen in my life. As Snake is now just pushing down, and they're likely to get a free inhibitor here. And no one from the Broncos can hold them.
Yeah, Ash and Lee Sin back, just trying to do what they can. Now the ult over the top, trying to soften them up a little bit from King Yeetloaf, and should be Snake disengaging. They got exactly what they wanted, though. They got the bottom lane inhibitor. Oh, or the top lane inhibitor, excuse me. They're going to initiate onto Billy straight, though.
Yeah, it is 5v4.
Hook lands onto Doughboy. Neither team seems to want to actually say go, but we're throwing abilities back and forth anyway. It'll just be the back off for Landsnack. Baron up right now. And that seems like the objective that's in their eyes.
Yeah, likely to pressure it at least, so they are sitting on quite a bit of gold. Every single carry sitting on 4 digits in their pocket as they're starting it, and Broncos are on their way.
Yeah, Wayside needs a way to get over this wall. I guess he could just jump over the wall slightly to the left. But Wiseholdbeard's already in, forced to Zanya's. More damage coming onto the backline. Yeetloaf just kind of ignoring Wiseholdbeard, taking some damage for his trouble. He'll get taken down 1-for-1 so far, as now the re-engage. Wiseholdbeard's just doing work in this backline. He does finally get taken down by Rito Torchic, but Brett will finish off Rito Torchic. On the other side now, Jack Love's Lamp gets one dunk down, and he'll apprehend Challenger Shui as well. Gets kicked away, but PB Doughboy just able to bop him away very slightly. The bleed damage will finally tick him down, and now it's Brett v Doughboy and Jack Love's Lamp, and PB Doughboy has the...
TPing in.
Yeah, Jack's TPing in. PB Doughboy has the Warmog's regen, so he can maybe re-engage on Brett and prevent him from backing. This could be the game for Landsnack.
Yeah, Echo's up in 10 seconds, but Jack is still pushing. He got the first Nexus turret, and he's actually backing off after that as Brett is just having fun with that high counterplay tank.
Yeah, Sejuani does a fair bit of damage. Jack gets one Nexus turret and then is forced to back out. Um, he stopped the port by just completely killing him, and you have to
Yeah.
respect that. It's
Sejuani slowly walked towards the Ash and really counterplayed him there until he was dead. But
and
you know,
Ocean Dragon will be the big prize for PB Doughboy at the other side of that fight.
and just speaking back to that fight, Vladimir was alone 1v4 for so long. No one on his team was able to get past the Caitlyn traps or help him out. In 1v4 in the backline, he's still able to bring down Yeetloaf and just create so much space. Really well played by him, and that's the power of the Vladimir that might have been able to stop the first Baron if he had teleport.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, in this case, they end up coming out on the bad end of that fight, not quite able to finish. Is Vladimir's bottom with no teleport. Snet can probably just start the Baron.
okay, he did recall just now, so he could rejoin theoretically here in a couple seconds, but um, Linsneck not brave enough. Don't blame them at all for not wanting to go for the Baron immediately. Now clearing out the mid wave. They'll head back that way, clear out some vision, and we'll see if they set up for the bait or if they just decide to burn it.
Well, Vladimir is still in the lane. They can see him, so they're just starting it up, and
Ash
Ash is
is taking
taking
red
red
buff.
buff. And that Baron's already at 40%. Is it 3k? 2k?
Oh,
And,
Thresh is dead. Yep. That Baron
and that's
goes the way of
Baron over.
Landsneck, right of the Arcane, just to soften up a couple of carries as well, and that'll send him fleeing. Oh, Sejuani ult doesn't quite connect with Wayside. And we've mentioned the Vladimir a couple of times. It just feels like UCO not on the same page. Probably the result of all of the roster changes, but if ever we saw the Vladimir and the Echo at the same time in the backline, they could really make some noise in these fights. Instead, what we've seen is just either one or the other, and it's been kind of disjointed from UCO.
Absolutely, and unfortunately for them, their whole team just is never in the same place at the same time. They end up losing the Baron there, losing their Thresh, losing their inhibitor mid, and looks like Snek has their eyes on this tier 2 bottom lane, the last standing structure outside the base.
Yeah, and it'll be very difficult to see UCO really holding off. You have fully powered Xerath Caitlyn headed toward a turret. Unless you can set up some sort of heroic flank, which, Jack Loves Lamp and PB Doughboy are expressly there to prevent as they engage onto Billy Straight, and he'll get dunked down. 8th kill of the game for Jack Loves Lamp.
Yeah, 9th death of the game for Billy Straight on the Thresh. She's had so much pressure with a lot of these hooks in the early game, and unfortunately it hasn't been able to transition that into the mid and late as the Broncos, as they have been this whole game, only 3 strong defending against the 5. Ash is finally coming over though. Let's see if they're able to hold and make the base defense to save the game.
This will be 2 cannons right now, basically. Turret's already down. You lost that structure that you can fight at, and UCO headed back to their own base, trying to wait out Billy Straight's death timer. You only have the 1 Nexus turret remaining, though, and got a little bit of range with Xerath and Caitlyn to help chunk it down.
Yeah, and that turret's already dead.
Initiation finally flash into the backline from Vladimir. We were watching Doughboy on the other side of the fight, actually doing pretty much the same thing, zoning 4 people. The kickback from onto Jack Loves Lamp does pretty well, but he'll just receive that right into the Vlad and take him down. Both of the divers down, and the fight's collapsing already for UCO. Brett's killed. Challenger Shuei, the last member alive for UCO in the fight. The triple kill for Jack Loves Lamp, and the Nexus for Landsneck.
And an admirable effort from the Broncos and from specifically Wise Old Beard on that Vladimir, applying so much pressure within these fights. Just seemed like the coordination wasn't there, and by the time that they were all together, it was too late, and Sinek is able to take the victory.
Yeah, that last team fight, we finally saw both Vladimir and Echo diving the backline at the same time, but it was managed really, really nicely by Killering and Heatloaf and Torchic, able to zone everybody off, and Doughboy in particular just dove through, held the attention of the Lee Sin and the Ash and the Thresh. It was really nicely played by Landsneck as a whole.
Yeah, good front to back as they were able to keep Vladimir from killing all their carries, and well played by Sinek. They looked infinitely more coordinated than this week than the last week, and they're able to pick up the win here in week 5 for it.
Yeah, so they'll jump up to 3-2, which will put them, for the current moment, above Team Fish Taco and Sky Zero, in that little cluster in the middle of the standings. And we'll see how the other teams there fare this week as well. So we'll step aside. Our next game is Return of the Middle Sticks versus Sky Zero. You won't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in just a minute or two. Looks like Yeetloaf had a question for you in the chat.
For me,
Yeah.
what's my second champion I can play mid? I don't know, man. Can you play a second champion? It's the Zoe, right? Is there at Zoe? Shit, maybe I'm forgetting something.
Shaco.
Oh, that Shaco mid. You're right. I forgot. How could I forget the Shaco mid?
Anyway, I'm all loaded up if you are ready to go.
I am also loaded up.
All right. Welcome back from break then. Our second game, probably should have changed the title of this slide. Um, anyway, our second game of the day is going to be Return of the Middle Sticks taking on Sky Zero. Um, this is going to be an important battle for playoff positioning. Basically, Middle Sticks currently sitting in second after dropping their game last week to Good Game Losers, looking to bounce back. Sky Zero sitting at 2-2, but with the weakest game score of those teams that are tied right now.
Yeah, and I think that the story of this game is really around Sky Zero trying to come back in and show that they belong in the playoff race. As they are 2-2, but they haven't had the strongest wins. They've had a lot of extremely close series, and we'll have to see if they're able to really pull it out this game. And if they are able to take, excuse me, a win over ROTM, that would do a lot in terms of cementing them in the upper tier within this league.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. If you're ready,
I am.
okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And welcome back to Summoner's Rift, where you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. In the bottom lane, wearing the blue health bars this game, is going to be Return of the Middle Sticks. In the top lane, Liposuction Lane playing his trademark Ornn, Tendies 2 playing his trademark Kha'Zix, Demon Print in mid playing his trademark Zoe, and FOTC 4th Shot and Maximus playing their trademark Lucian and Braum.
And on the red side, we have Sky Zero with Pico de Galio, not on Galio, but in that Scion in the top lane. Dude Perfect 2006 on the Lee Sin in the jungle. Almighty playing Zed in the mid lane, and then Brandifan and Mark Hames on the Ezreal Zillion bottom lane. And just across the board, it's comfort picks for everybody. You mentioned all the ROTM boys. Sky Zero, Dude Perfect plays so much Lee Sin, and Almighty's really known for his aggressive Zed in the mid lane. Uh, Really interesting how everybody sort of got what they wanted.
Yeah, I can't really envision how picks and bans went in this game, based on the champions. Normally you can see, somebody knock down the priority list a little bit or off of comfort. It might have been bot lane target like for Sky, if that makes sense, I guess. So bot laners targeted by Return of the Middle Sticks against Sky. I don't really know where you took away uh from Middle Sticks. It feels like this is almost the comp that they would wind up with if they got to blind pick.
Yeah, no, definitely a lot of strong picks for them. Maybe they banned out Tendy's Riven. He's been playing quite a bit of that in the jungle recently. Maybe they banned out some more annoying champions that they didn't want to play with. But either way, our team ends up with an extremely strong composition, and Skyzero really picks up a composition that's it's very their style. It's a lot about the early aggression. They end up full AD against an Ornn, which isn't ideal, but um, definitely a very aggressive composition here with the Lee and Zed.
Actually, I'm gonna stop this game. I think
Are
this
we
is
stopping this game?
yeah, this is not the one that I wanted.
Oh, okay. This game's
Yeah,
not good
it's
enough for the
it's definitely not.
broadcast.
No, no, no. We wanted the other one. Sorry about that. We're gonna jump aside for just a second and grab the other game. This means that Lane flipped the match IDs, so that's unfortunate. So we'll be back in just a second. Sorry about that.
The scuff stream here.
No, when Tendy's mentioned that his Evelyn was banned, I was like, oh yeah, he's supposed to be on Evelyn, and that triggered my memory here. So let me grab the other one.
Hmm. Okay, make sure you send that to me. Yeah, everyone blame like a liposuction lane. Too many Ornn games have routed his brain.
Yeah, that's like 3 maybe. Let me make sure this is it. We'll load it up really quick, and then I'll send it to you. Yeah, this is it. Okay. There we go. I sent that to you. Hopefully you get that quick. Yeah, this looks a little bit more like what I wanted. Scuff stream. Sorry, guys.
Wait just a second. There we go. I think I got him.
Oh, and they're on different sites. Let me swap the scoreboard. I have something to do while you're loading it up.
God, everything's messed up.
Yeah, it's either Lane's fault or I don't know how to read. And I, for one, am not going to take that responsibility upon myself. So,
Reasonable. I respect that. Here, sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble tracking that guy down.
is there going to be a VOD after this? Yes. The VODs are all automatic on Twitch and automatic on YouTube, so you can track them down basically at your leisure. If you
Yeah,
also
as
want to
soon
watch a
as we're done
previous game while we're casting, you can click the videos tab and actually just click the most recent broadcast, and it'll take you up to about 5 minutes ago. So all you'd miss is us fumbling around on this replay. So that's pretty cool.
I'm loading in. So it should be ready here in just a minute. I wanted to see the spicy Zed, man. You teased me and
I think this one might be a little bit more spicy for your trouble. So
okay. Well, I am in 0-0 whenever you're ready.
okay, let's get back to it then. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Wearing the blue health bars this game is going to be Sky0. Pico de Galio in top lane on his Cho'Gath. Dude Perfect 2006 on Rek'Sai. Almighty trying out the new Kayle in mid. Brando Fam and Mark Hames playing Ashe and Braum in the bottom lane.
And then on the red side, we have Return of the Middle Sticks with Liposuction Lane playing Alawi in the top lane. Tendies 2 Anna's Evelyn pick in the mid. Demon Print on the Orianna, and then FOTC 4-Shot and Maximus on the Sivir Taric bottom lane. As we see Sky Zero going for the level 1 5-man invade.
Yeah, headed into that bottom bush, you usually hope to catch somebody right about there. You hit him with the Winner's Bite. That's a good start. It's going to force the flash out of Maximus, and not the most successful invade in the entire world, but you got the flash of the support, so you have a very clear target to come gank here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, free flash is definitely nothing to scoff at, especially with such a strong early aggressive jungler like the Rek'Sai. Definitely puts a target on Taric's back for Dude Perfect.
So
So
these should be a little bit more interesting team comps for you to break down. Um, let's talk a little bit about Kale. Specifically, mid Kale seems a little bit of an interesting like slot selection. Do you think that that can lane at all against the Orianna?
I would say likely not. It's a melee champion who is going to just have a lot of trouble, especially into an Orianna who just has so much poke in the early game with the empowered auto attacks. It's kind of like playing Kassadin, but without your extra magic shield and such. That said, I haven't seen too much kills, so maybe Almighty will be able to surprise us here and do relatively well within this lane. Almighty's known for playing a lot of off-meta things in the mid lane. Famously played Vi several times, in playoffs a couple splits ago. Will be definitely be an interesting matchup to watch, as he isn't too far behind in CS so far, and not particularly poked out.
Yeah, I think that this is the solo lane should be favored for middle stakes, right? With Orianna versus Kale, should have a pretty big bully on it early. Ilawi's pretty good against Cho'Gath in general. So it seems like they have the lane counters set up for Return to the Middle Sticks. Maybe not so much in bottom lane, but you can survive with Sivir and Taric.
Sivir does a pretty good job of just perma-shoving waves and sort of nullifying matchups. So definitely options for them there. That said, these lanes for RTM are likely going to be shoved up, and Rek'Sai will definitely want to punish that as Demon Prince getting ganked.
Yeah, Rek'Sai already here in mid lane, comes in, gets the knock-up onto Demon Prince, forces the flash over the thick wall, able to get it, but he'll go down for first blood. The Conqueror proc, able to do a ton of damage, and really good mechanics on the flash. I've seen that flash failed so many times, but both Demon Print and Dude Perfect able to clear the wall.
Yeah, and I was trying to highlight it, but I wasn't quick enough. When you have the winning lanes, but a losing jungle matchup, that can mean that the Rek'Sai wants to play extremely aggressively, as those lanes will likely be shoved in. And he's able to go in, get the kill, relieve quite a bit of pressure, as well as, get the assist for the kill.
Yeah, and Tendies immediately sees that gank, heads into the jungle. He'll take a Gromp away. Maybe not the biggest prize, but gets the scouting information on the jungle path thus far from Dude Perfect as well.
Yeah, that's it. The Scuttle Crab is still alive here in the bottom lane. Tendies apparently opted to not contest any crabs.
Yeah, he went for a full-ass clear, it looks like, on that top side of the map, into the enemy Gromp, and didn't perhaps a little bit timid to contest with the Evelyn early on.
Which is reasonable. Evelyn's not a particularly strong early game champion, whereas Rek'Sai absolutely is. So if you end up in the wrong place, Rek'Sai will definitely punish you for it, as Almighty's going aggressive and trading autos into Demon Print.
Yeah, the kill early on, maybe giving him a little bit of extra bluster, and Brandofam taken really low, the flash forward from fourth shot. We've seen this bot lane play really aggressively from Maximus and fourth shot, and they burn a couple of summoner spells, not able to get it. But now Tendi's chasing Dude Perfect over the wall, has the red buff ticking, the Conqueror proc goes off, but it's not enough to heal him, and now Tendi's trying to collapse on Almighty, but Almighty will return the one kill as Demon Print trying to get that Clockwork wind-up passive going down. Mark Hames comes in just to save his Kale, but now Demon Print almost gets the dazzle from Maximus, not able to connect, and it's the flash away from Mark Hames. able to keep him alive, but interesting trade of summoner spells, and we'll see how well that's been tracked by both teams.
Yeah, and I wonder what happened in the river. How did Dude Perfect on the Rek'Sai end up so low? By the time we flashed over, Tendy's already had a massive HP lead, and Rek'Sai just couldn't trade back. Tendy's able to burn the flash and get a kill in an otherwise really rough matchup. That said, Almighty on that kill is able to pick up a return kill, now 1-0-1 on a champion that we didn't expect to do particularly well. Already almost at that level 6 mark. It has the completed Berserker Greaves. Definitely very interesting already.
Yeah, Pico de Galio's hit level 6 up in this top lane. Liposuction lane pulls his soul out, but he's trading back relatively well. And Pico de Galio doing a really good job here early, keeping the health bar managed and keeping Liposuction lane at bay on the Illaoi.
Yeah, as we see the two junglers are running into each other.
Demon
and
Print
just
gives
trading a
him...
little bit of damage as Demon Print is the first mid laner to rotate over.
Yeah,
Protecting...
Maximus kind of pokes in mid. He gets the question mark ping on him from Sky Zero, and then he'll held back toward bottom lane with fourth shot back in base.
Yeah, and fourth shot was able to get the recall there. Has the BF sword. Is definitely in a relatively good spot within this lane as he'll be able to pick up those couple of waves, shove that back in into nice and farm from Brandifam.
Yeah, so all told, it's about a 500 gold lead right now for Sky Zero. Not pretty negligible at this point, but we really have to keep an eye on the Kale. Level 6 hit now for Almighty, starting to turn into a ranged champion from that melee champion. And
yeah, level 6 you get the splash on the auto attacks once you have them stacked up, as you're seeing right here. And we'll have to keep an eye on her. Not quite ranged until you hit that level 11, but at level 6 you can start trading back a little bit and have a little bit more wave clear, a little bit more power. As you can see, Demon Print was just standing extremely far back, and giving a lot of respect to a pick that he probably hasn't seen mid lane too much.
yeah, Dude Perfect comes in, able to knock up Mark Hames. Only level 4 for these bottom lanes. The ultimate comes out from Dude Perfect. They stun up Maximus, and they'll take his life as fourth shot forced to run in. Tendy's waiting over the wall. Hasn't used the charm, but does have the Demon Shade available now as he's hit level 6 off of the blue buff take. Scuttle Crab goes the way of Sky Zero, and Demon Print not really responding. Probably a team call not to come in and collapse in that 3v4.
Yeah, he was pretty and the whole of Sky Zero, other than the Cho'Gath, was there. As we see, Liposuction lane dropping the ultimate to poke down Pico de Galio on that Cho'Gath.
Oh, the Shockwave pulls him in, and that should secure the charm as well. Almighty forced to burn the Kale ultimate initially, but Tendy's chases him down and takes the kill. And now in top lane, Rupture lands, and Liposuction lane will go back to wailing on the tank. Worth noting is that if you hit the soul, it doesn't apply the Bramble Vest passive, but if you hit the body, it does. Oh, the extra tower shot, not quite going to finish off Pico de Galio, but you can see Tendy's is on his way up there. Mark Hames gets chunked out in bottom lane. Fourth shot has on the hunt available, but not popping. Oh, it's already down. Never mind. I'm trolling a little bit. Tendy's takes the kill in top lane in exchange for Brandofam picking up one in bottom.
Yeah, and they might look for a dive here onto fourth shot. No, it looks like they're just going to let him clear the wave and just put some damage down on the Turtus. They do end up getting a plate for their trouble. Really huge, though, for Tendy's on that Evelynn, a champion who's not very strong early. Already 3 kills, 4 stacks onto the Dark Seal. I was able to pick up that kill mid lane without even using her ultimate. Tendy's is definitely in an extremely strong position at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to cheat. Is the Kale ult called something else? It's called Divine Judgment now. Okay.
Divine Judgment. What was it previously? Do you know?
Something
light.
Bubble. Yeah, I don't know. I'll know it if I look it up, but like I will have retroactively known it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So, just looking at this Kale again, as we see him get poked out a little bit in the mid lane, has picked up that Vamp Scepter, likely going towards a Hextech Gunblade. Not too uncommon. Oftentimes you'll see Kales either pick up like a Gunblade or a Ludens as their first item, and then go into a Nashor's about the time that they hit level 11 and become a ranged champion. So definitely on his way to becoming a relevant champion.
I don't know where you would look to find her old abilities.
Alex in chat just said it's intervention. I think that's
Intervention.
right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered it was like a one-word name that was kind of meh.
I think it's a pretty cool name. You know, she's
Intervention, like she just, here's a bubble, I'm intervening.
yeah, it's like speaking to your
Anyway, this is the same combo that we saw earlier as Tendy's collapse on Almighty's just
oh
gone.
wow.
The Widowmaker does so much damage. Ash Arrow sails just a little bit wide in mid lane, and Tendy's now has all 4 kills for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, Tendy's is so strong at this point, and really well played by Demon Print and Tendy's to get that combo off as he's finding Dude Perfect and gets another kill.
Yeah, maybe needs to spread the gold around just a little bit. But you know, 5-0 on the 5-1 on the Evelyn, excuse me, nothing to sneeze at. Has 8 stacks on the Dark Seal as well, and he's well on his way.
Yeah, an
on the
extremely
hunt
strong
popped
champion.
is 4th shot and Maximus looking to dive. They have the Taric ultimate available as well. The Cosmic Radiance buying some time, and Brandofam goes down. Tendy's is just unstoppable as he picks up his 6th kill. And the fully stacked Dark Seal now.
Yeah, he's just taking everything, and you know, as long as he's able to transition his lead to the other lanes, you know, definitely more power to him. As Pico de Galio is just tanking up that damage from Malawi.
Yeah, the Bramble Vest does so much work in this lane. It's similar to Fiora. You just buy that early, and basically the champion that you're against is relatively useless at that point. Has chalked himself out to about a 15 CS lead, but that's not what you want to see from an early game champion like Alawi. Meanwhile, Dude Perfect looking for the gank in bottom lane. They land the Winter's Bite onto Maximus, and Kale's here as well. Lands the slow, and Almighty picks up his 2nd kill of the game.
And Dude Perfect on this Rek'Sai has been able to apply so much pressure on these first 12 minutes. So many ganks, you know, in the mid lane, in the bottom lane. The mid lane one, the last one ended up getting counter ganked, but really well done by him to apply this much pressure in a matchup where you really have to apply a ton of pressure and try and keep the Evelyn down.
Yeah, they found
Not
Demon
doing a great
Print
job
now.
of...
Ash Arrow does connect on him, forces the cleanse out of Demon Print. Shockwave pulls back too, but he's still on the wrong side of this fight, and he'll go down as Almighty slaps him down with the sword for kill number 3.
And Almighty just keeps last hitting people and picking up kills. Now 3-2-1 on the Kale as he's getting caught by the Evelyn.
Yeah, there's the Divine Judgment, but Tendy's has taken him low enough. Doesn't have the execute available, but the Widowmaker tries to get him out to safety, but Almighty chases him down for another kill. Dude Perfect looking for the last shot, not able to connect with Maximus though. And it'll be 2 kills in mid for Sky Zero as they rotate in, and they'll be able to take this mid lane tower.
And that's another kill going on to Almighty. You know, this Kale is a champion that scales amazingly. You know, once you start getting those levels, getting those items, you can be almost unstoppable. And at this point, being 4-2-1, probably has enough gold to finish the Hextech Gunblade. Definitely in an extremely strong position to carry this game. You know, this mid-Kale pick so far has really paid off.
I was going to say, if it's early on in the patch, it's probably the Blade of the Ruined King, actually.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it'll be Bork and then Gwynsus.
I thought Rageblade wasn't great on the new Kale because it doesn't interact well with your E.
If this was early on in the patch, that was the build when she first came out, was Blade of the Ruined King Gwynsus.
Okay,
and then people started to figure out a little bit differently.
Okay. Well, let's see what he opts for.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we'll see. Nope, you're completely right. Never mind. I feel it.
Still might be going towards that Gwynsus Rageblade 2nd item. Might prefer to see Nasher's Tooth. I feel like a more efficient item now. Is Dude Perfect just ganking again and applying so much pressure. Great ultimate to dodge there.
Yeah,
on
great
the
ult to
Shockwave.
dodge the Shockwave, and you know, he's kind of set up the camp mid lane, and it's paying off for him in a big way.
Yeah, it's definitely the lane that he wants to get ahead. You want this Kale to be a monster, to you know, to have a presence within fights, and a champion this week early needs the camp. As Tendy's is getting caught out here and dies. Wow,
Almighty picks up the kill. Now the On the Hunt popped in bottom lane. They're trying to get on to Brandofam and Mark Hames, but the Brahms here, the Cosmic Radiance doesn't quite connect as they take down Maximus first, and that'll force 4th shot back away as he burns both summoners to run for the hills. But where's he running to? Kale should be able to collapse on him as well.
Almighty's looking to cut him off. And the new KO with the W speed up is so fast. He should be able to collapse here.
And they should be able to find him. We're going to watch Dude Perfect take down Liposuction Lane in the top lane. This is all going the way of Sky Zero here in the mid game.
Yeah, no, Sky Zero here, led by Dude Perfect and Almighty, are doing so well to apply so much pressure. And do you remember when Evelyn was 6-1? I do, and now he's 6-3, falling behind, really not taking advantage of that early lead. And at this point, you know, the real power really is in Almighty and Dude Perfect. As
Tendies might be 6-4 here in a second. The Shockwave does pull back too, but now Dude Perfect able to get onto Maximus, just taking down Demon Print really low. Nobody's fallen just yet. The ultimate will finally take him down, but he's in turret range as Tendies cleans up one kill. Liposuction Lane's here. Can he hit a big test of spirit? Or Leap of Faith, excuse me. He actually doesn't have it available. It's on cooldown, so never mind. But the double kill for Tendies as he comes around the backside and picks up another. Pico de Galio, Brando Fam, and Almighty headed out, but Tendies still waiting in the wings. Can he pick off an extra kill on the back? He'll jump onto Pico de Galio, gets the MR shred, but will force the flash out of the Cho'Gath.
And that's a bit too hard of a chase there from Sky Zero, perhaps being a little too excited as Almighty's and Tendies looking for something, doesn't have the ultimate, might not be able to get much here. But I think Sky Zero really wants to recall that KO, get some mana, and spend that gold that he just got. I ended up picking up a kill and some more farm, and this KO going for the Nasher's Tooth. Yeah, no, poised to be a monster in this mid game.
Yeah, the only reason that this isn't as lopsided as it is number one, the kills on Tendies. He's 100% kill participation by having 100% of the kills. And then the CS leads are actually pretty significant. Maybe not as individuals, although the Asher is going to land. We're not going to get to talk about that at all, as Demon Print experiences Bouncy House. But Dude Perfect rips him to shreds after a decent shockwave, tries to disengage. Almighty's trying to collapse, but he really wants level 11 before fighting anymore. He's going to flash in and get taken really low. Maximus just trying to beat on somebody with his hammer. The flash forward from Liposuction Lane. He hits the Leap of Faith, but it's one kill already as Maximus is down. Mark Hames might take a tentacle here. We'll see if he lives. No,
Tendies
does not.
Flash ult.
Tendies flash ult. He gets two, and Dude Perfect now forced to slink away into the shadows. It's a 3 kills for Return of the Middle Sticks, and somebody not named Tendies picks up one as Liposuction Lane able to get one with the flash ult.
Yeah, and even with that massive lead, and a great ultimate by Dude Perfect, again, dodging the shockwave from Orianna, they chase a little bit too far forward. Kale not level 11 yet, not ranged, and not safe to put out that much damage. Ends up getting caught there, and Tendies now 10 kills, has that fully stacked Dark Seal again, finished the Lichbane, and is extremely strong at this point. Actually upgrades to a Medjai's. Oh, no. I got baited.
No,
Oh?
Just did it again.
Come on, any left base. Okay, it is that Medjai's. And, yeah, no. Tendies is just so strong, and really a lot of what's keeping ROTM in this is that and Liposuction Lane having a really good play there on the Alawi to turn that fight back around.
Yeah, fourth shot, quietly trying to scale up. He's got his Infinity Edge completed, headed toward his first Zeal item. Sitting at a 60 CS advantage over Brando Fam. Not insignificant, keeping him in it in the gold count. Demon Print has about a 20 CS lead in mid, about a 20 CS lead in top lane as well. And that's what's showing it's only about a 1k gold lead, if that, for Sky Zero right now.
Yeah, as we see ROTM
Tendies is just behind him. How did he get there? Immediately assassinates the Ashe. Now Mark Hames and Dude Perfect trying to flee, but he gets charmed up. It's a double kill for Tendies. He's at 12 of 13 kills for his team.
I saw him there, and for some reason my brain didn't register that he's on the wrong side of the map. As he's able to get a free pick off onto Brandafam there, and they end up chasing down Mark Hames. And, those are the champions here for Sky Zero that aren't strong, that aren't able to contest, and Tendies is just stacking that Medjai's off of them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we haven't seen Pico de Gallo really make an impact in any of these fights either. He's been sitting at 0-1-1, hasn't used his teleport to come down and join his team other than the one fight over by the red buff that didn't go super well.
Oh,
Enchanted
and the
Crystallero
Enchanted
lands on to Tendies, but he's able to ult out. He takes one kill with him as the Kale goes down, 2 in favor of Return of the Middle Sticks now as Maximus is forced to flash away. Pico de Gallo trying to get onto him and slow, but they're able to turn back just so much damage, and Fourth Shot picks up his second kill, and the Spirit pulled out as Mark Hames will get chunked just a little bit by that.
Yeah, and Kale ends up dying with the ultimate up, gets caught by the shockwave, pulled in, and while CC'd, Tendies with the ultimate is able to finish her off, and the Kale is so much of Sky Zero's power right now. You can't have her dying at the beginning of these fights without being able to get auto attacks, without being able to press R.
Yeah, Tendies has 24 stacks on the Magi's Soul Stealer right now as well. Almost fully stacked that after buying it, 4 minutes ago?
If that long ago. Is definitely well done by him. He's now 13-3-2. Definitely is the carry, and this is probably Tendi's signature champion. That's been banned away from him quite consistently. That, and even if he's been cheating on Evelyn recently with Riven, shows that he can still come back and definitely play Evelyn pretty well.
Yep, goes back and just casually buys 2 needlessly large rods for his trouble as well. The scaling isn't stopping immediately, and are you looking at just Evelyn hopefully hits 6 items and starts falling off? Like, what's the game plan for Sky Zero right now?
Buying some Banshee's Veils and Mob Malmortius has definitely helped to cut down on Evelyn's effectiveness, but not really seeing any magic resist come out at all on anyone that isn't a Cho'Gath. So I don't see Tendi slowing down anytime soon.
Even Cho'Gath doesn't actually have any magic resist.
He has the Merc Treads.
Oh, he's got the Merc Treads. Okay.
And
20.
he's probably going towards like a Warmogs. Okay, yeah. I thought maybe it was a Spirit Message, but he is going for the Warmogs. Yeah, no, just no magic resist coming out, and once Evelyn's able to complete that Rabadon's Death Cap, just actually going to be able to one-shot everybody. Yeah, no, it'll be a fight between Evelyn ult and Kale ult to see if Kale's able to have the reaction time to save one person, as Tendies kills everybody else.
Tendies just like 2 shots the dragon casually from 4,000 health. Lane is behind everybody. He doesn't have the ult available. He's actually trolling, but the shockwave is so good from Demon Print. Almighty just buys a little bit of time with that Divine Judgment, but trying to trade back the damage. They can't ignore the Kale. He does get taken down by Tendies. It's a double kill. Widowmaker will secure a 3rd for himself, and that's 4 kills for Return of the Middle Sticks. Lane, I guess, made them question their decision-making for a second, and then Demon Print ripped through him with the shockwave.
Yeah, and that's just everybody dying again before Kale is able to ult. And unfortunately, Almighty ends up ulting himself, and during that, Kale's no longer able to auto-attack. Not able to put out the damage that they needed to in that fight, and at this point, ROTM is just so strong. They're going to recall here. Evelyn's probably going to finish the Rabadon's Death Cap. Yep, there it is. Oriana's finishing the Merlinomicon. These champions are just so strong at this point, and for a game that was so close for so long, with Almighty and Dude Perfect really having a strong mid game, unfortunately for Sky Zero, they just haven't been able to hold it together, haven't had the Pink Ward controller, the magic resist to keep Tendies down, and that Evelyn has just become a monster.
Yeah, sitting at 16-3 now. Pops the Rift Herald just as it expires in mid lane. We're going to run it in. We have Rift Herald and Baron buff at the same time as Return of the Middle Sticks running it through. Sky Zero able to perhaps kill Shelly. The Shockwave actually going to pull back too, and Demon Prince already killed one. Dude Perfect now forced to tunnel out. The stun lands onto Maximus from the Enchanted Crystallero, but he's got Merc Treads able to kind of shrug it off, and they'll roll through the inhibitor in mid.
Yeah, and death is what awaits all of those who try and stop Shelly. As Demon Print there with the Orion ultimate able to catch out Dude Perfect and Mark Hames, and Sivir ult goes down.
My goodness.
Oh my god, that is a dead Ashe. As Kale's trying to put out damage, trying to auto attack, trying to clear these waves, trying to do anything. But just so much damage coming out from this ROTM lineup.
Oh, fourth shot takes a winner's bite for his trouble. Pico de Gallo now able to rejoin. They have the tank available, but turrets just falling left and right. That's Nexus turret number 1 going down as the super minions continue to pour in for Return of the Middle Sticks. Where's the point where you need to engage if you're Sky Zero? Are you trying to wait for Ashe? Here comes Ashe. All right. You got 5 grouped up. We'll see if this is an overstay from Return of the Middle Sticks. Mark Hames comes in. That's a really nice Braum ultimate. The Shockwave not able to connect, and Pico de Gallo's taken 1. This is it looks like the overstay as Tarek goes down as well. The double kill for Kale. Tendies is just waiting off in the wings, seeing if he's got an assassinable target, but with all 5 standing on top of each other, I can't imagine that he really opts in for this fight.
With his ult up, he definitely can kill whoever he wants, as Kale just gets one shot.
Jesus.
Yeah. And we see the Ashe ult just not hitting anything. As Tendies just one-shots Mark Hames and uses the blast plant to get out. You know, what a fun champion went ahead. That was just so much damage coming out from the Evelynn there.
You have that thought process. You're like, I'm Braum. I can be a little tanky, right? I can walk up and auto... No, you can't. You get 2 shots still by Tendies.
And still just no magic resist coming out. As we see Rek'Sai opting into the Spectre's Cowl there. A little bit of magic resist, but I think the big person who needs it is Almighty on that Kale. He needs to get a Banshee's Veil, just so he doesn't get instantly popped. And unfortunately, these fights, he just hasn't been able to walk forward and put out the damage he needs to. Because either he's ulting to save somebody else, or he's, getting DPS by the Orianna or the Evelynn.
Yeah, if you're Brando fam, how do you try to exist in this game?
I
don't think you buy the Executioner's Calling. That's kind of what I'm going to start with. But what item do you buy? What are you looking to do?
I don't think you do exist in this game at this point. I think that you are a ult bot, and as long as you are able to press your R in fights, you've done literally everything you can. Maybe you stay back and press W sometimes, but unfortunately there's nobody that he can really DPS safely. There's no way that he can walk up to a fight at all, and he's just so far behind on this Ashe pick, who already doesn't put out that much damage. I'm not sure how he'll be able to contribute to fights outside of just pressing R.
Yeah, it seems like Almighty's really banking on his own ultimate for himself. I think we've only seen him self-ult this game. So
in the last fight, he did end up ulting, I believe, Dude Perfect on the Rek'Sai as he went in, but the real issue with that is that Kale can't auto-attack while ulting. So if he does ult to save someone else, or even ult himself, he's really taking a DPS hit. As he did end up finishing up the Rage Blade, but... See, and there's Brandafam making the classic mistake of leaving his base against the 20-kill Evelynn. You really just can't do that. You have to stay in the base forever.
Yeah.
In fact, can't even leave Fountain.
Liposuction Lane just trying to flex his muscles a little bit, maybe up his damage stats here against Pico de Gallo, but both of them seem pretty immovable in this lane. As Almighty trying to collapse, they might be able to get this kill, and they should be able to, as they will take down Liposuction Lane in exchange for their bottom inhibitor.
And Almighty does put out damage, he just can't put it out in these fights, as Tendies is just...
Oh, ultimate on to Dude Perfect, able to save his life for the time being. Tendies still on the back, the Shockwave pulls back the Rek'Sai, and fourth shot picks up a kill. And Ashe Arrow sails just a little bit wide. They're trying to chase down onto Demon Print. They will finish that one off. But where's Tendies? He's still alive. He's got 2 kills now. But Brando Fam gets the stun onto him. They can't quite finish that one off, but fourth shot overextends just a touch. Tendies is still alive, regenning in that demon shape. He's looking for more. Pico de Gallo in his sights. Oh, not able to get the charm. He does finally get it off of one of the Qs, and I think maybe walked up a little too far. There's Brando Fam. That's a huge shutdown. So that's 1,000 gold. He's still got another 1,000 gold shutdown. You imagine there's probably a third one stacked underneath that.
Okay, so Brando Fam on that Ashe pick. Apparently the time that you can walk up in DPS is when Evelynn doesn't have ult or summoners or anything, but...
Yeah, Lane's still trying to finish this one off. Brando Fam does go down to Maximus as they're able to recollapse, but it's a 1-for-1 so far, and now Maximus has overextended a little bit of overconfidence from the Return of the Middle Six squad.
Yeah, just the tiniest bit. And maybe Sky Zero will be able to kill the Baron. They do have a naked Nexus, so it's a little scary, especially against an Evelynn, who can just sort of walk into your base at any point. But they're gonna try and get this Baron before ROTM can respond.
And this
But
is
Orianna and Sivir are already here.
Yeah, Orion and Sivir notoriously good in the Baron Pit. If you're grouped up, you get the Ricochet, you get the Shockwave as well. Almighty's just DPSing this down. They're going to try to turn now. Fourth shot in a little bit of trouble, but the Shockwave goes back
Oh,
too.
wow.
Dude Perfect just chasing down fourth shot, trying to get anything back that he can, but overdives with the tunnel, and now Tendies is in pursuit.
Yeah, and that's just a great ultimate from Demon Print, able to catch out Almighty and
Oh,
just
fourth shot wanted a little bit more than he could handle there. He is able to spell shield the Ashe ultimate, but eventually dies. And Tendies goes over the wall with his ult just to finish off Brando Fam for his trouble. 22-4 now on this Evelynn.
Yeah, it doesn't have max stacks on the Medjais anymore. Looking to restack that up, pick up a couple of kills here. As Sky Zero's missing 2 for 10 more seconds at least.
Yeah, the 4v3 on the map right now in favor of Middle Sticks. He gets silenced out of the Demon Shade, trying to walk back in, and Maximus steals the kill away from Tendies. Every kill on this map is a kill for Tendies, let's be honest. Pico de Galio stunned up by the Dazzle, but not enough to get any more damage onto him. They're going to Taric ult and maybe burn down the... Oh, they don't need to burn down the Nexus. They can burn down the Rek'Sai instead. Kale ult does quite a bit of damage, but he doesn't last very long either. 2 more kills for Tendies, and the Nexus killed as well for Return of the Middle Sticks, as they eventually take care of business in the game.
Wow, and after such a strong early to mid game here from Sky Zero, they're able to get the kills onto the Rek'Sai, onto Almighty, and unfortunately it just falls apart in the mid lane as Tendies is able to, just create so many opportunities with that Evelynn pick off so many people, and in the end he ends up with 24 kills, 30 kills, 30 kill participation rather of the 34 RTM kills, and really just Tendies versus the world there.
Yeah, the unsung hero of this game is, I think, Demon Print. His shockwaves in pretty much every situation were exactly what was asked for. He hit that big shockwave as Lane sauntered in the backside of the fight during the one team fight by the Dragon Pit. He hit a couple really important ones to prevent chases as well. I think that without Demon Print, it looks like a little bit different game. Of course, you need Tendies. Of course, Tendies is the MVP, but I just wanted to give a little bit of shout out to Demon Print, who also I thought played a very good game after
And
falling behind early.
the real one who sacrificed here is Demon Prince KDA. After he was out last week, he was able to maintain it, but this week ended up dying 7 times in this game. Unfortunately, we'll bring that stat down just a little bit.
Yeah, do want to give a shout out to him. Congratulations for not dying to the plague. I know he wasn't feeling super well while playing this game, so hopefully he's continuing to feel a little bit better. But we'll go ahead and that'll put us at 5-1 now or 4-1 for Return of the Middle Sticks, and 2-3 now for Sky Zero, which puts them at the bottom of that little clump in the middle of the standings. So a little bit more work to do for Sky Zero, and for Return of the Middle Sticks, trying to cement that number 2 spot again.
Yeah, definitely, and a great showing by them to show that they do belong at the top of that. The top of the standings there. At Sky Zero, they had some opportunities. There is some promise in this game. Unfortunately, just not able to pull that out in the end, and we'll see if they're able to, take those early to mid-game victories and see if they're able to transfer those to games down the road.
All right, so we'll go ahead and step aside for the last time today while we set up our final game of the day. It's our game of the week between Team Fish Taco and the Iron 5. You won't want to miss that one. We'll be right back. Are you ready?
Always.
Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our game of the week now, our final game of the evening, will be between the Iron 5 and Team Fish Taco. This game, again, kind of decides the last bit of our clump, essentially, with Iron 5 coming in at 3-1. Their only loss so far to Return to the Middle Sticks, but still with a little bit to prove, honestly, especially given a little bit of a weaker schedule so far this season.
Yeah, definitely the Iron Five. That even though they are sitting at 3-1, the only team that they've played that's near the top of the standings is our team, and they did drop to them 0-2. So definitely, quite a bit to prove here against Team Fish Taco lineup that is 2-2 coming into this week, but I feel like they've definitely been playing above that, and they might be better than their record indicates.
Yeah, they're the opposite of Landsnack, where they started 0-2 and have since won 2 games in a row to claw back in. Right now, sitting in fifth, which I believe is the top 2-2 team. That might be incorrect. I could bring it up, but whatever.
That sounds reasonable.
And I really want to highlight and try to hype up the solo lane matchups again in this game. General Vici versus Suzuki, two of the better top laners in the league, and then Saber versus Puffles Mia. I think Puffles Mia is probably the most underrated player in Diamond League right now, and Saber, he's shown flashes of brilliance, but hasn't been super consistent this season.
Yeah, and if you've watched the podcast at all, I've been singing praises for Puffles Mia for weeks. I think this guy is probably one of the strongest mid laners in the league, and definitely someone to watch out for within this game.
Yeah, so if you're ready, let's jump in.
I am.
All right. In three, two, one, go.
All right, and as we get into game, here on the blue side, we have Team Fish Taco, with Azuki in the top lane on the Maokai, Heimerdoodles in the jungle on the Kindred, Puffles Mia in the mid lane on Syndra, and then Demon Repent and Deathmoo in the bot lane with the Yasuo Thresh dual lane.
And on the top side of the map, wearing the red health bars this game, will be the Iron 5. General Vici in the top lane on his Vladimir, Aikedo in the jungle playing Rek'Sai, Saber in mid on Ryze, it's Chris Not Chris and Randy Newman in bot playing Ashe and Alistar.
All right, and just looking real quick at the team comps, it seems like Team Fish Taco really going with what they normally do, which is all inning on that team fighting style. So much AoE, so much team fighting pressure with the team comp that they decided as General Vici and Azuki are just bopping heads just a little bit.
Yep, and Wolf gonna take a chomp out of Saber as well for his trouble. Um, but yeah, you're kind of doubling down, not doubling down, but you have a really strong 5v5 team fight if you're Team Fish Taco. I think it'll be interesting to watch specifically the Kindred ultimate usage from Heimerdoodles. What you have is a lot of dive. You have the Maokai and the Yasuo and the Thresh who are looking to dive in. Even Syndra isn't super long range, looking to get, kind of a moderate range with that in order to burst somebody down, and you don't want to use the ultimate in a position where you're healing the back line that you're trying to dive onto.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with champions like Vladimir, who wants to dive into your own backline. So even if you use it defensively, you could end up saving him and allowing him to get an extra rotation of spells off. It's definitely has the potential to win fights or lose fights for you. That said, this team comp from Team Fish Taco is the type where if they get ahead, I'm not sure that the Iron 5 really have the tools to deal with them within a team fight. A lot more early game pressure here with picks like the Rek'Sai, like the Alistar and Ashe, who are more utility focused rather than damage. It'll definitely be interesting if this game ends up going late.
Yep, Kindred winning the early coin flip, by the way, able to get the first stack off of the Scuttle Crab. I am kind of interested. We've seen Ashe go 0-2 today, but we've seen a lot of priority on that pick kind of across Diamond League this week. And I'm wondering if, what you think that's in response to, or what you feel that pick is bringing to teams that we haven't seen thus far. Oh. Did I lose Aikedo? I guess I lost him for the time being. Let's take a peek really quick. Nope, I don't know. Well, might be doing the solo cast for just a little bit here, as we're seeing the gank in top lane. Akedo coming in onto Azuki, knocks him up, able to get first blood and flash away. So Iron 5 on the board first. Puffles Mia returns some damage onto Saber in mid, and hopefully we get Akedo back before too long, because I feel really lonely, and when I feel lonely, I get scared.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know when I ended up unplugging my mic, but I'm back with us now as Iron 5 are able to pick up the first blood there.
Yeah, I asked you the pointed question about Ashe, and then you completely ignored me, so I felt a little hurt.
Yeah, as Azuki and General Vici are fighting a little bit in that top lane. No, I definitely think that the Ashe question or the Ashe pick is a lot about the utility and the pick of the ultimate. I'm not sure if it's necessarily in response to anything in specific. It's just perhaps some teams putting more high priority on that utility.
Yeah, how do you feel like this matchup goes between Ashe and Alistar against the more non-traditional AD carry and Yasuo with the Thresh?
Alistar definitely has tools to deal with Yasuo within a fight. As Azuki and General Vici just continue to fight. Um,
Yeah, Azuki
uh,
getting the better of these trades early is kind of surprising. Vladimir usually has a decent early matchup into Maokai. I guess this is a result of health bars after some of these ganks and teleports, but Akedo's here in mid lane looking for Puffles Mia, able to knock him up. Saber, I guess he cleansed away the Rune Prison, and that was really quick and really well done by Puffles Mia, but he does burn both of his summoner spells. Now Death Moog gets ignited in the bottom lane and forced back.
I definitely really well played there by Puffles to escape that gank there. Ends up burning both the summoners. We'll see if the Rek'Sai is able to return to that lane and end up punishing him for that. That said, the Alistar definitely has tools to deal with Yasuo. You know, a lot of very consistent CC. Within 2v2s in the bottom lane, if Thresh ends up hooking somebody, Alistar can just headbutt Yasuo out of the fight and make sure he can't DPS. So definitely a relatively favorable matchup, at least within the early game here, I think, for the Iron 5 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and we were mentioning the Maokai with the small advantage over Vladimir early. I think that that'll flip through mid game and then kind of flip back to Maokai once he gets tanky enough. But if you're Aikedo, what lane are you looking to put a lot of priority on then?
Probably want to repeat gank that Syndra, who doesn't have any summoners, or defend your top laner from a Kindred gank, as it looks like Kindred's already onto the Vladimir.
Yeah, Vici level 6 has the empowered Q, gets the phase rush proc as well, drops down the Hemoplague on only to Kindred, but now Akedo fighting with Azuki, gets the slow from the E, the Tides of Blood doing a little bit of work. Health bars are really low from both sides as Azuki and Heimerdoodle's forced back. Not the most value ultimate out of the Vladimir, but it's able to help tip the health bars in the favor of Iron 5.
Yeah, and I think the big thing there is just making sure that Kindred gank doesn't end up setting this Vladimir pick even further behind, who's already been having trouble in these fights. Is Puffles Mia is 6. Saber going in and trading and probably getting the better of the trade there, even though Puffles Mia did have that ultimate pressure there. And worth mentioning, actually, looking at it, Saber just hit 6 on that rise as he's getting traded onto there, and didn't put a point into the ultimate. Some rises like to wait until around level 11 or 12 to start putting points in, if they don't feel like they'll be able to utilize it much early. It seems like Saber's kind of a subscriber to that method.
Yeah, the rank 1 rise ult, not the largest distance teleport that you can imagine, just a little hop over a wall basically. But once you hit rank 2, start using it a little bit better. I am not the biggest fan of Rise as a champion, just as a whole, but it's really cool to see teams that are coordinated able to use the I can't think of the name. I'm gonna cheat. It's
The
Realm Warp.
rise
Yeah,
realm war.
able to use the Realm Warp to good effect.
Yeah, and It'll definitely be interesting to see if the Iron 5 are able to take advantage of that, as looks like the two junglers are finding each other, perhaps. Is Kindred actually burnt Flash? I don't know why it's not showing us that.
Yeah, apparently this is more interesting in top lane. Actually, Vichi's taken pretty low, but he gets the Hemoplague down onto Azuki. Should heal back off of that and stay alive. Gets the Blood Rush as well, the third Q, and will stay relatively topped off. He got a turret plate as well, which I guess is way more interesting than whatever's happening there, where Akato looks like he got chased off of his own blue buff, and Heimerdoodles is taking it.
Yeah, it looks like Team Fish Taco there had the push in the bottom lane, had the push in the middle lane, and were able to 5-man or 4-man rather invade there with Kindred really poking the Rek'Sai out. And Kindred ends up picking up that blue buff, picking up her mark, which was on the Gromp, and as well as the Scuttle Crab, and is actually going for Dragon as well, just trying to get everything down there. Let's see if the Iron 5 are able to respond or if they just let that one go.
Yeah, it looks like
Looks like they might just
Saber
let it
at
go.
least knows, but Randy Newman walking in, looking for that headbutt pulverize, sees that the dragon gets taken right in front of him. Hook lands onto the Alistar, able to cleanse it with the ultimate. Ashero comes in, lands onto Deathmoo. They're just trying to DPS him down, but the Kindred ult buys some time. Headbutt back out as he auto-attacks down Deathmoo. Supportal combat goes the way of the Alistar, but they trade it back. It's 2 for 1 for Iron 5 as they're looking to chase down Demon Repent. The knockup from Akedo, there it is. And the flash forward for the Rune Prison onto him. Demon Repent super low, down to 200. Auto attack will confirm the kill for Saber, and the ultimate forward from Puffles Mia hits the ult as well. Taken down to about 100 health as a Kato, but he'll live for the time being.
Yeah, and a really good collapse there from the Iron 5. You know, it seemed like they were really slow to responding to that dragon, and TFT does end up picking up that Ocean Drake, but the Iron 5 pick up 4 kills on the backside of it, so a good chase down there by them.
Yeah, I really love the play from Randy Newman just to headbutt Deathmoo back out of the Kindred ultimate and then finish him off with the auto attack. Like, boy, I am the superior support.
Yeah, sometimes that's just what you gotta do, you know. Yeah, on the backside of that, we see the Kindred here actually with a massive farm lead in the jungle. A lot of that is from being able to push into the Iron 5's bottom side jungle and pick up a few camps there as well as the crabs. But at this point, 79 CS has the completed warrior, is looking pretty strong on this pick so far.
Yeah, definitely in a good spot, and we'll have to see how Heimerdoodles is able to continue stacking up, and I can't seem to click on him. He's only got 2 stacks so far, so hasn't picked up any additional hunt targets, but, you know, looks to hit 4 relatively early and get that extra range and damage, and could be a really dangerous player in this game. And I like the idea of the team comp with Team Fish Taco, taking the non-traditional AD carry and then pairing it with a marksman jungler.
Yeah, it's definitely really effective, and make sure that you still have that consistent range DPS from someone else, while still being able to pick that Yasuo. Yeah, looking at item power spikes, it looks like Saber with the couple of kills is able to have that tier as well as a Lost Chapter. Definitely well on his way to scaling as fights breaking out in the bottom lane.
Hook lands onto Randy Newman in the bot lane. He buys a little bit of time, has the stopwatch available as Chris trying to DPS down, but Akedo makes his appearance in. It's Chris, not Chris, flashes forward, takes 1 kill. Heimerdoodles will be finished off for a second, and now Demon Repent, gets headbutted away. He didn't actually have enough mana for the pulverize. The slow, he takes the ultimate in and actually kills Alistar. Isn't able to finish it off. It's the triple kill for It's Chris, not Chris on the Ashe.
And once you saw the Enchanted Crystal arrow go straight into the wind wall, you thought that TFT might be able to turn that around and win that fight, but great counter gank there from the Rek'Sai, able to turn that around, and It's Chris, not Chris on the Ashe ends up with 3 kills.
General Vichy taken super low.
Ooh.
Stays alive for the time being, has the... That's a lot of healing. That was the Hemoplague at the same time coming off, so not quite as much as I thought it was. It was the double.
That's it. The pressure in this top lane has been heavily in favor of Azuki on that Maokai, even though he ended up giving up First Blood. Still really trading extremely well into a matchup that you might think Vladimir would have a relatively free time in.
Yeah, Vici is up 15 CS though, so feeling... Both top laners probably honestly feeling okay. Maokai's still looking to scale. Vladimir's still looking to scale. Heimerdoodles gets caught on the collapse from Akedo and Randy Newman, forced to use the Lamb's Respite, and Saber picks it up with the Q, a nicely placed Q over the wall onto him, and he's 3-0 on the rise now.
Yeah, definitely well on his way to stacking that tier and really being a strong boy in these mid-game fights. We'll definitely want to track to see how much he's able to do with that lead. Um, as he recalls here, probably looking to finish that Archangel staff and get well on the way to the Seraphs.
Yeah, again, more fighting in top lane. This is kind of what Maokai does. You just trade and then heal, and then you trade and then you heal. And Vlad
Really
kind of wants to do the same thing, honestly, so...
fun and interactive lane. And for as low as people have gotten, as many ultimates have been dropped out here in the top lane. No solo kills between them. Just sort of relatively quiet. You know, kind of a farm fest for how low they've gotten.
Yeah, Akedo onto the Rift Herald now, not spotted at all by Team Fish Taco, so able to cleanly take that one away. And with Dragon spawning in 12 minutes, you can start to set up on this bottom side as well and start to flip the vision back over there.
For sure, and we'll have to see what flavor of dragon this one's going to be. It's actually a Mountain Drake, which both teams would definitely want. It definitely helps out with pushing down towers and Baron take. We'll see who ends up setting up for it first.
Yeah, and honestly, the way that both team comps line up, neither one has a super great Baron take. You don't have that huge DPS that you normally look for on really good Baron taking teams. So the Mountain Dragon could be that tipping point in being able to rush that down.
For sure, TFT does have pretty good damage with the Kindred, with the Yasuo, and even Syndra does alright damage to the Baron. If they're able to pick up that Mountain Drake, it definitely lets them apply a lot more pressure there. You can't leave them alone for very long around that objective.
Yeah, now this lane got really difficult for General Vici as Azuki finishes up the Adaptive Helm. And he'll be looking to nuke some minions and not so much Azuki, although he's getting having a decent go in this trade so far.
Yeah, he's actually doing quite a bit of damage. He ends up missing out on the damage from the Protobelt there, but those empowered heals are just doing so much work to keep him topped off in this fight. And yeah, with the no magic, or with the what's it called, adaptive helm completed, you would think Maokai would have the upside to that. And
oh, gets him with the extra sapling, but the Bramble Smash not enough to finish him off. Almost something exciting happened, but Vici able to stay alive again.
Yeah, so much fighting as we check in on that top lane again. Just the two of them are beating their heads back and forth.
Headbutt Pulverize onto Demon Repent, and then he tries to block the Lantern, but not able to get it. Randy Newman still looking for that aggressive play, though, in the bottom lane. They feel like they have a pretty good advantage down here.
Yeah, and with that pressure, it looks like Aikedo on the Rek'Sai is pushing onto the Dragon. I will likely be able to secure that for free. As top lane, they're looking to dive General Vici.
Yeah, he's got a lot of healing. He's got the Hemo Plague onto Azuki, getting more healing. The Protobelt not quite able to finish off Azuki. Heimerdoodles will finish off the kill and then stay alive with the Lamb's Respite.
Yeah, and perhaps just a bit of overconfidence from General Vici. He ended up walking back underneath the turret, really asking, you know, to test his might in the 1v2, and well played by TFT to reset the turret aggro, have Azuki flash out, and then Heimerdoodles dropping the ult to stay alive after they take down General Vici.
Yeah,
really
so
well played on that dive.
Yeah, so a successful dive in top lane. They'll get that turret as well eventually, you imagine. It's not... I guess it's already down. That's the death thing that's in the way. So, turret going to Team Fish Taco. It's only about 1,000 gold lead right now for Iron 5, despite being up 5 kills, although they'll extend it out just a little bit more with the bottom lane turret as well, which is provided by the jungle pressure from Aikedo.
Yeah, and part of that is CS leads here in the mid lane and in the bottom lane, even though both of the carries for the Iron 5 are 3-0. You know, 15, 16 CS leads for both Puffles Mia and Demon Repent, as the Ashe ult, barely dodged out there by Heimerdoodles.
Yeah, not quite able to connect on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and the Rift Herald crashes into mid tower, but not able to finish it out. And yeah, the attempts at aggression here from Iron 5 have been met pretty well by Team Fish Taco. And as we mentioned, they have the better scaling 5v5 in the late game. So you'd have to think that we're looking for plays here before too long from Iron 5 in order to try to break the game open.
Yeah, looking at the team compositions, you know, might say that Iron 5 are sort of on a timer. They can't really match up 5v5 without having a massive lead. So you want to try and see them do something here in the next few minutes. Take down some of those outer turrets. You know, maybe top lane, maybe mid lane. Get some vision in the enemy jungle, and you know, just try to apply a little bit of pressure.
So Saber looks like the one marked right now by Kindred. Not that that's super important, just finally saw the effect. I feel like it should be a little bit more obvious in Spectate who Kindred's got marked, just to try to track that a little bit better. Let's see if he's picked up anything. He is up to 4, so he's got the extra enhanced abilities plus the extra auto range, which is really nice for him.
Yeah, 4 is definitely the mark that every Kindred player wants to receive. As Azuki's on the backside here flanking, but
yeah, Deathmoo pulls in Puffles Mia as well. They're looking to get a Kato, but so far Iron 5 trading back pretty well. It's Chris Not Chris untouched in the backside, able just to DPS down Azuki as Kato takes the kill. They lose the bot lane turret in the process as Demon Repent's able to take that away from Saber.
yeah, and Demon Repent's actually going in on Saber here.
Yeah, now the fight between Yasuo and Ryze. Oh, the flash forward. He gets the Airblade onto Saber. Not able to quite finish him off, though, as the combo comes through from Saber. And the 1v1 goes to Ryze.
Wow, and really well played there by Demon Repent on the Yasuo. Getting the EQ flash to knock up Ryze, but not quite enough damage to take him down. And Saber, in the end, comes out on top of that 1v1.
I've heard it called so many different things. Keyblade, Beyblade, Airblade. I think as long as it's got Blade in the name, it's acceptable. Maybe just the movie Blade, 1995. Anyway, General Vici and Heimerdoodle is going to try to fight 1v1 as well. Heimerdoodles has the Lamb's Respite here. Does he have the sustained damage to get through this? It looks like General Vici's going to be able to take it for his first kill of the game.
And that's part of the trouble of Kindred ult against a Vladimir. Vladimir just has so much healing and is able to set up his damage, his load of cooldowns, that Kindred ult oftentimes helps him out more than anybody else. You know, and there, General Vici finally able to finish out a 1v1 as he's been 1v1ing the Maokai all game. Gets someone a little bit squishier and comes out on top.
Yeah, Demon Repent now caught, and the rest of Iron 5 collapses over the wall just to take down the Yasuo. Randy Newman picks up the kill on the Alistar. Keyblade is the Beyblade plus Airblade. They're 3 different techs. Oh.
So I think Airblade is when you knock someone up with your tornado, and while they're knocked up, you EQ a different target and then ult. So you get like the Q damage as you come in with your ult. It's okay. I don't know. It's all too confusing. It's way too much.
That sounds like some weeb shit to me, honestly, and that's what that champion is. Randy Newman goes in. They're going to knock up Deathmoo. He'll get taken down underneath the tower now. Kato jumps onto Puffles Mia, and that'll be the killing spree for the Rek'Sai. Azuki trying to find General Vici will grab him underneath the tower, but I don't know that they have the damage to just raw push into the mid lane tower. And instead it's Iron 5 collapsing on the top lane on the inner turret in exchange for Azuki and Heimerdoodles taking the tier 1 in mid. Oh, yeah. General Vici wants this. He hits the Hemo Plague, and it forces Suzuki to flash away.
And actually so close to taking down the Maokai there. Really well done there by General Vici. 1v2 to hold that turret as the rest of his team's able to get the tier 2 top lane.
Yeah, and happy retroactive Pi Day to everybody. It is now 3-14.
There we go. Everyone's just being a little festive in this game.
Soon we might see somebody completely drunk in favor of St. Patrick's Day. You never know.
Yeah, we'll have to see by the end of the play who played like they were celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
So this is what we wanted to see from Iron 5. Well, never mind. Heimerdoodles goes in over the wall and then heads right back out with that ace of arrows. As I was saying, this is what we wanted to see from Iron 5, was making a decisive play in the mid-game to try to thwart the timers. And they're going to grab the Ocean Dragon, hopefully. Yeah, smite down. It's Chris Not Chris. Slows up Azuki. Really wants this one. Gets snared by the Nature's Grasp. Kato's over the wall. It looks like this should be a dead Maokai, but how much is it going to take in order to actually finish him off? And will he buy enough time? Not able to get to the Lantern as he gets knocked up, and General Vici takes the kill. They try to slow up Demon Repent, not quite there. And Fish Taco head back to their base.
Yeah, and you know what you were saying there, the Iron 5 really needed to get a mid-game power spike here, and they're doing a good job of that now, applying a lot of pressure. Now that gold lead is up to 5,500. With the Baron spawning, you'd think that they want to apply some pressure around there, get some vision, and maybe pressure onto that Baron. They do have that Mountain Drake, so a little bit quicker on the take there.
Yep. The vision looks like just in this banana bush, getting swept out now by Iron 5. There's one more ward. Oh, he's not going to see it. Oh no.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
Enchanted Crystalero comes through. We might see the fight as Puffles Mia forced to cleanse, and he'll go ahead and knock him away with the Scatter the Weak. So, not getting anything for the Ash ultimate immediately. It's on a relatively short cooldown at rank 2. Oh, Kato. They're still just fighting him. Heimerdoodles comes in trying to find a Kato, and chunks him pretty low. The Hemoplague comes through as General Vici looking for a little bit more damage, but not able to find that critical amount, and the Baron dance kind of slowly continues here. Azuki now wandering in, taking a little bit of damage for his trouble as well. Getting tanky, he's working on, that'll be a Righteous Glory is his second item, it looks like.
Yeah, likely so is the Kindred there, even though the scoreline is 2-4-1, still putting out a ton of damage there, poking down Ikedo and just showing that even though TFT's behind, this Kindred will still be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they do grab the mid lane tower as well, so it's about a 5,000 gold lead still for Iron 5, and you think that they need to continue to extend that, or else they'll run into trouble here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, definitely want them to try and pressure that Baron, see if they can get that taken down while they have the gold lead. Just wanted to point out the kill participation from both junglers. Heimerdoodles with 100% KP, been a part of all 3 kills for TFT. Nikedo on the Rek'Sai has actually been a part of 13 of 15 kills. Definitely a lot of pressure, and both teams seem to be relying on their jungler to really make plays.
Yeah. Also wanted to point out Demon Repent full build on the Yasuo has the Phantom Dancer plus the Infinity Edge. So he's ready to go. Puffles Mia getting close to that Morello Namicon, and that's a really big power spike for Syndra as well. Although it's Chris not Chris, finding Death Moo with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow plus the knockup, and Ikedo will actually finish it off. I didn't see if that was a smite or just the Q, but...
It was a smite, yeah. As they don't have smite now for another 30 or so seconds. We'll see if they go onto the Baron, or maybe they're just trying to shove waves out and apply a little bit more pressure.
With all of that vision around Baron, you know that Team Fish Taco isn't there. I don't know why they don't just jump on that, especially with General Vici having teleport available. That seems like a little bit of a miscommunication there in the team, and Heimerdoodle's now in bottom lane, not able to really contest the Baron either as he's fighting General Vici. And they'll eventually take him down in the 2v1, but what is it going to cost? That will be the Baron going over to Iron 5. It'll go on to 4 members. Unfortunate. Rest in peace, General Vici.
Yeah, General Vici drawing the jungler down and allowing the rest of his team to end up picking up that Baron as Kindred goes for a quick jaunt through the jungle, picks up her mark, and might be able to pick up a blue buff as well.
Yeah, let's take a look and see how many stacks that is. Oh, well, let's maybe watch this. Oh, it gets smited away by Kato, it looks like. Heimerdoodles has 5 stacks now, so that was only the next one on the rotation for the Kindred.
Yeah.
Oh, but Kato
so...
walks in? Nope, doesn't need that.
The Iron 5 with that Baron buff, you'd probably want to see him set up in a 1-3-1 with Vladimir and Ryze on side lanes. Really pressure all 3 lanes, that way the wave clear from Syndra isn't able to hold them back. Definitely want to see him crack the base here, try and grab some inhibitors before they get outscaled. If they do grab inhibitors, then with this gold lead, they should be able to turn that into a victory, probably.
Dragon coming up in 3 seconds as well. We'll see what flavor it is, as I don't want to pan away. Nature's Grass coming out from Azuki. He flashes in, looking for that Ashe on the backside. Hits the Bramble Smash. This is alright as Azuki's being taken down in the backline. Ikedo's unstoppable, but that's a huge ultimate from Demon Repent as he tears through one. It's Chris not Chris does finally pick up another kill. The Lamb's Respite doing a lot of work for Iron 5 here. That's actually going to heal only people with red health bars, and it's gone wrong for Team Fish Taco as they lose 4 for 1.
And with that double teleport coming in at the same spot, Puffles Mia on the Syndra got a huge knockback, which led to a huge Yasuo ultimate, but unfortunately for TFT, it just wasn't enough as, they still end up losing the fight and are likely to lose the inhibitor here.
Yep, mid lane tower going down as well as inhibitor number 1. Only about 10 seconds left on Azuki and Deathmoo though, so that should be the back out. You grab the Earth Dragon as well, and that feels like the next step that Iron 5 needed to take in order to secure this game. Now we need to look at them regrouping, maybe even waiting out for that second Baron buff, and that should be the end of the game with the lead that they have.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see if they try to push some more with their current Baron buff or if it'll time out. It looks like... Oh, that's because Vladimir was dead. Never mind. I thought I thought it was already timed out. They have a little bit of time left on it, not too much.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can grab anything else, but right now it's a 9,000 gold lead and relatively comfortable for Iron 5. 3 items being finished pretty much across the board, as we'll see Rise kind of being the last straggler to not get one. But you have a Guardian Angel on a Kato, you have the Zanya's Hourglass, and the Morellonomicon finished for General Vici. And that Morello's is actually really important because that should allow him to sit in a side lane against Azuki, although they're pinching on him anyway with a couple of members. Nature's Grass comes out as he's just looking to buy as much time as he can. He is really tanky.
But... And it feels like the second or third time that Azuki's been caught pushing up just a little bit too far without any backup, and the Iron 5 should be able to turn this mismatch into perhaps another inhibitor here in the bottom lane. So they still have the Baron buff.
Yeah, only using the Ash Arrow, so nothing super valuable is on cooldown. You do want the Ash Arrow, of course, but if that's all you invested for a single kill, that's fine. Kindred's on the top side, maybe looking to collapse on this, and I don't know if Team Fish Taco really wants to fight here, but the Baron buff's timed out finally for Iron 5, and
General Vici is split pushing that top lane without teleport, but there are supers pushing in that mid wave. It looks like Aikato's heading towards that mid wave. Maybe not.
Just shooting some water over the wall, hitting him with the Super Soaker.
As you do.
Hybrid wants this fight with Vici. He's tried to take this 1v1 at one point in this game already, and he gets the Vladimir ult. Not an insignificant cooldown in exchange for the trade. He is going to lose this bottom lane turret, though, for it.
Yeah, and the Iron 5 are still pushing onto the inhibitor. Maokai and Kindred aren't here yet, so they should get that for free. And looks like they're just backing out now. Second inhibitor cracked without even having the Baron buff. It's definitely exactly what you want to see from this Iron 5 team. Really pushing out that gold lead almost at 10,000, just 100 off there for a second. Definitely really good, mid to late game here so far by them.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight some of the gold here. General Vici with about a 3,000 gold lead over Azuki, and It's Chris Not Chris with about a 3,000 gold lead over Demon Repent. And other than that, you're relatively even. I guess there's a 2k in support, but you always gloss over that one just a little bit.
Well, the 2k in support isn't insignificant this game, as you see Randy Newman on that Alistar has completed the Locket, has completed the Knight's Vow, and with another Aegis of the Legion is perhaps going towards a...
It's the Zeeks.
Is it Zeeks? I don't buy support items. I don't know what they build out of.
Not fancy in the support Trundle build or anything.
No, unfortunately I don't play too much support Trundle. I don't buy Zeeks too often. But
if I'm not mistaken, it's the Aegis plus the Glacial Shroud. So
that sounds about right.
Anyway, Deathmoo wandering in, getting some vision with the Lantern, and Baron number 2 about to spawn. It is live now. So the Baron dance commences for the second time, and Team Fish Taco's here to try to answer it.
Yeah, definitely good here on the Iron 5, though. They're pushing in the wave top, pushing in that wave mid, trying to get priority, which allows them to push up, get some more vision, and really control this pit.
Vici looking along the side. Demon Repent gonna just throw a tornado at him for the trouble. Feels really tense right now, even though this is a 10,000 gold, almost a 10,000 gold lead. 9 is almost 10 for for Iron 5, and now they're gonna start out the Baron. Team Fish Taco, do they know? They're gonna teleport in their Maokai. Hook lands onto the Ashe in the backline. Randy Newman just trying to chase out Demon Repent. It's Chris Not Chris has already taken down Thresh,
Oh, the
but
huge
the
stun from
huge
Syndra.
stun from Syndra into the Yasuo ultimate, and Demon Repent still alive, throws down the wind while Akado's down as well after getting Guardian Angeled early on in the fight. Saber and General Vici still alive, trying to kite back as Randy Newman knocks up Heimerdoodles. They'll trade that one back, but it's really even. It's 2 for 2 so far. Randy Newman goes down, and Team Fish Taco actually has won the team fight.
Down
And
9k gold. They're at the Baron, and they're actually gonna take down Saber here for, yeah, another kill. And really well played there by Team Fish Taco. Are they gonna be able to deal the Baron? Just 3 of them?
yeah, you have the 2 damage dealers plus a tank. You worry maybe about not having Smite against General Vici, who has Teleport. We'll see if he can really make a play on this Vladimir. That ward's going to go down. We'll see what Vici wants to do. He doesn't have Hemoplague available if he wants to get in, and there's still 3 relatively healthy members in this Baron pit. But Team Fish Taco with an astounding team fight. Puffles Mia hits the huge Syndra knockback with the orbs into Demon Repent's ultimate, and they'll secure Baron Nashor for themselves.
Yeah, and that's the second time this game that we've seen a massive stun, a massive E from the Syndra, knocking back multiple members and leading to a massive Yasuo ultimate. And this time around, at least the Team Fish Taco winning a team fight from 9k gold behind, stopping the Baron, and actually picking up the Baron for themselves. What a huge turnaround.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's just the gold from the Baron that'll help them now. They've clawed it back from 10k to about 5k, and I mean, Iron 5 do pick up their 3rd Earth Dragon on the back of it, but that's not the prize that you were looking for going in.
Definitely not, and Team Fish Taco does have the Baron buff now, so they might be able to push some with it. We'll have to see if they're able to get their lane shoved out and be able to leave their base, but the Iron 5's sort of on the back foot now. You know, we talked about how they didn't scale as well into team fighting as the TFT composition did. And, you know, right there, we're seeing it play out. And at this point, they will probably have to rely on a split push, try to rely on a 1-3-1 to win this, because I'm not sure if they win team fights.
Yeah, it's difficult after seeing a 1 team fight while down 10,000 gold. You imagine that gets even cleaner, down 5,000 gold in the next time.
Yeah, you'd imagine so.
So it's the time maybe for a tactic adjustment from Iron 5, or you have to start it off with a really clean pick from It's Chris Not Chris with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Just something that helps turn the tide of that team fight.
Yeah, they definitely still have tools to make picks, to burst people out within fights, especially with Saber on this rise, has completed that 3rd item, completed the death cap, is actually going to put out a lot of damage in these fights. General Vici on the Vladimir, close to his 4th item, trying to finish that death cap. You know, they definitely still have the potential to win fights. As we saw, even just last game, Vladimir's ability to 1v5 in backlines, or maybe that was 2 games ago.
Yeah, it was UCL. It was 2 games ago. But
yeah, so definitely still the potential
Hook
here.
lands onto Randy Newman? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
And it ends up burning the Owlstar ultimate, actually, and that might allow TFT to push up a bit more here, play a bit more aggressively.
Heimerdoodle's just going to go ahead and man mode on that turret. They take down the inhibitor turret, and there's not much left in this base. Iron 5 needs to find an engagement here, or at least something to help get them out of their base. They lose the inhibitor in mid lane, and they've lost their gold lead pretty much entirely.
Yeah, no, it's down to around 2.5k as Team Fish Taco's looking to get this tier 2 top lane as well, and you know, how quickly things turn. Just one lost team fight, and suddenly Team Fish Taco's running the show.
Yeah, inner turret here in top lane under siege. Only 1 cannon right now, so it's not going to go down super fast, but they still have a reasonable length of time on their Baron buff to help wait this out. And Team Fish Taco, again, basically negating that 2,500 gold at 37 minutes is relatively negligible.
Yeah, no, that gold league definitely doesn't mean much at this point, as Team Fish Taco's Baron did time out. They're still pushing up here. Doesn't look like they're going to get much, as Randy Newman might be looking for an engage here, might be looking to catch someone out. Doesn't look like it gets caught up by the saplings.
Yeah, so now it's base defense duty for the Iron 5, and This is not where you want to be with the pick composition with the Ash. Another stack goes the way of Heimerdoodles. I guess I permanently had him down here, but he's at 8 now, so he's got the second upgrade for that Kindred, and the scaling definitely on for TFT.
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, if you are the Iron 5, you've thrown this 10,000 gold lead, you threw the Baron, what's your way back into this? Is it just contesting the Elder Dragon here in a minute, or contesting Baron in a minute 45? What do you think they need to
I
do?
still feel like you just need to get a little bit of aggressive vision. Like not a significant amount, but just if you can get one word beyond where it's supposed to be and get a pick onto the Syndra or the Yasuo to start off a fight, you're feeling
Hmm.
so much better about your ability to team fight after that. You're still not behind in gold. You should still be able to pull it out given a 4v5. I
Yeah, no, if
think
they
that
are able to.
that's I think that that's the win condition is you need to look for a pick to start it off, or you need to get Vladimir out in the side lane right now uh, with the teleport. Getting a hook onto your jungler might not be the best way to start it off, but Guardian Angel finish or Guardian Angel back up for a Kato. Just eating the hooks back again. The fight's gonna break out. General Vici isn't really here. Collapse into the backline. It's one pick on to Deathmoo, but it's Chris. Not Chris is down, and that's way more important. As Heimerdoodles jumps into the backline, Aikedo trying to fight with Demon Repent as Randy Newman just trying to deal with CC, and the fight just so split apart. General Vici wasn't really a part of it at all, and now forced to run away from Mizuki, and Team Fish Taco has basically secured their win off of that team fight.
Yeah, they're pushing 4 versus 1 here. We'll see if General Vici's able to hold it, but what a massive team fight there is. Puffles Mia is somehow able to get into range of it's Chris not Chris on the Ash and completely one-shot him. It seemed like Ash just sort of got left alone as General Vici's going to drop here in the Lamb's Respite into the end. What a great comeback there by TFT. Able to stay in it, able to win these team fights and see the picks that they needed to get, and really well done by them.
Yeah, it's difficult because your DPS as Iron 5 is on Ash and it's on the Vladimir. Ash got picked immediately. Vladimir just wasn't there. He was pushing mid lane when the fight initially started. Didn't teleport in, decided to walk all the way into the fight, and by that point Ash was already dead. And sure, you got the pick onto Deathmoo, but Thresh at the beginning of the fight versus your Ash. It,
Yeah, no, definitely not the look that Iron 5 were really looking for there. Is Ash wasn't able to put out any damage in that fight. Rise was zoned off and not able to put out much damage either. And when General Vici does show up, ends up getting a one-man ultimate off onto the Syndra, but Syndra has a stopwatch and is able to just walk away from that.
Yeah, so super
You
well
know,
played and way more coordinated team fighting from Team Fish Taco, and that's what we've been looking to see from them all season. If they can shore up their early game, you think they're starting to look at GGL and Return of the Middle Sticks at the top of the standings and, licking their lips a little bit.
It seeing Fish Tacos definitely is showing that they can team fight with the best of them and that they are one of the stronger teams within the league. Um, and unfortunately for them, falling behind 10,000 gold isn't really, I don't think, what they wanted coming into the game. They're still able to stay in it, and if they are able to shore up some of those early game weaknesses, they could definitely be a powerhouse.
Yeah, so with that game, that'll level both of those teams up at 3-2 along with Landsnack and create another logjam situation with pending the results of the UR and Graceland game, which I you can feel fairly confident should go the way of Unlucky Retribution, so they should be just one step above. So you have GGL at the top of the standing, assuming they take care of Thumb, and then Return of the Middle Sticks and Unlucky Retribution, followed by that three stack of teams right in the middle.
Yeah, and that's your top six right there. And looking at the standings, the next two up would be Sky and Thumb, who, Sky we just saw today ended up throwing an early game lead to the Evelyn of Tendies. We definitely want to see them try and, come back into this and really vie for that, fifth and sixth place position that will get you into playoffs.
Yeah, so that'll do it for the cast this week. Again, GGL versus Thumb and Graceland versus Unlucky Retribution are going to be played during the bye week off stream. What you're going to want to look for next is on Wednesday, our Get Recalled podcast. We're going to be doing a Week 5 recap, plus we're going to be doing mid-season awards for Platinum and Diamond. So you won't want to miss that. See if we call your name, let you walk down the red carpet after that or something. I don't know what we're going to do. And then next week there won't be any streams whatsoever because there won't have been any games played. So enjoy your week off, enjoy your spring break, and we'll see you Wednesday for Get Recalled, and then the Wednesday after that for another episode of Get Recalled where we'll do Gold Awards, plus try to preview the upcoming week. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you Wednesday at 6 p.m. Oh, I didn't make a goodbye one. Oops. We'll just do be right back.
And we'll be right back next week.
No, we're not going to stream the games on Get Recalled. We might talk about them if they happen by then, but um, yeah, their punishment for not being able to schedule their game is that they're not going to get casted.